Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be here. It's been an extra busy week, finals week here for me. So we're wrapping up. We're getting posting grades and all that fun stuff. So yeah, grading final projects and whatnot. But you know what? I am glad to get a little break from all of that. Come hang out with you. So yeah, it's been
I'm
good.
happy to see you here as well. Do you hear me okay? I just wanted to make sure
Yes.
my
Yeah.
mic was okay.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, so quite an interesting day we had today, I guess. There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's been a few days that have been very
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean,
a lot of bad stuff
A
actually,
lot
but
of a lot of really awful stuff has happened. I mean, I suppose maybe the first thing we can say is just just rest in peace, Rob Reiner. I mean,
absolutely.
so incredibly tragic. Yeah, we've already kind of gone back and forth on X about this. We mentioned mentioned stuff, but this is not a time for politics. This is an incredibly tragic, incredibly sad thing to have happened. And now that we know a little bit more, and it does sound as though it was, or at least the police there, the legal apparatus seems to be
It's the
fairly
sun, yeah.
confident that it was his son that
Well,
is responsible for this murder. It sounds like there was a confrontation at some kind of Christmas party earlier in the day, and
with Bill Hader of all people.
or something. Yeah, so strange.
I mean,
But
to be
yeah,
fair, I kind of feel bad for Bill Hader. I don't know the guy, but I feel like he's always seemed like at least he seems like a halfway decent guy. He was at a party and this son was like trying to butt into a conversation he had with somebody. And keep in mind, this is a guy with like mental illness and addiction issues, this son, and I guess he was trying to cut into his conversation. And apparently, Bill Hader said, "Hey, I'm having a private conversation." Or something like that. So this son got really upset and had like a fit, and I guess they left the party. This is all really weird. If you want to know, I know this is a terrible
yeah,
thing for me to say. I'm going to be the most terrible person now, and I feel like it's awful, and I shouldn't say this, but I don't think they should have brought him to that party. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know your son has all these issues, maybe, and it was at Conan O'Brien's house, don't bring him to that party. I mean, it, it doesn't mean that he would have gone on to do. He could have still gone on and done bad things, regardless of the party. But perhaps, like being in that setting for a guy who has mental issues and addiction problems, probably not the best place. Like, I assume that they meant well, but bringing him into a situation to that place with like Conan O'Brien and those people is really, it probably was not a good idea.
no, and it's I am. Uh, I'm embarrassed for Trump. He likes to get out there and say wild, crazy things. This was not the place for him to be making a
No,
political statement about Rob Reiner. I understand why. I understand. He Rob Reiner was no fan of his, and it was mutual. But at the same time, just how that was a very crass statement
he
to be
wasn't
coming
reading
out and
the
saying.
room. Not that I think that Trump ever reads the room, but I think that in this one case, he could have taken the high road and said something
Yeah.
along the lines of like, "I didn't agree with the politics of Rob Reiner. There were many times that he said things that I was 100%, against. But at the same time, he's a filmmaker that contributed to the American pop, whatever it is, cinema, and rest in peace to him and his wife." Or don't say anything. Actually, sometimes if you have nothing to say, just don't say anything at all. Either saying nothing or
Exactly.
saying, "Well, I didn't agree with his politics, but rest
Exactly.
in peace," could have made a brief statement and let it
Yeah,
slide.
and it
Uh,
is strange too because there have been times when I expected him to say something sort of crass and and about somebody, somebody who died or something like that, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's really sad, and I'm sad to hear that," and just kind of brushed it aside, like, "I'm not gonna say anything more about this. Sad to hear that," kind of thing. But then went on this thing about TDS talking about Rob
It
Reiner
wasn't
when,
the right time for this.
no, it was incredibly crass, but
Like, usually
yeah.
usually I'm already used to all his weird stuff and, like, I don't really, pay much attention to it. I think that in this case, like I said, it was not reading the room. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure that when he was alive, Rob Reiner gave Trump a headache all the time, and he was all TDS. All that was probably true. At the same time, if you look at a video, that I saw that I think a lot of people saw that after Charlie Kirk died, say what you want about Rob Reiner's politics, I thought that he said things that were most of Hollywood didn't say what Rob Reiner was saying. Rob Reiner flat out said that it was a tragedy. He even mentioned Charlie Kirk's wife and
Yeah.
watching the ceremony with her and, spoke positively about Charlie Kirk's wife and, didn't say anything bad about Charlie Kirk and just explained it was a tragedy. I thought that the way he handled that was actually very nice. And it could have been that on the other end, uh, that could have been also. You understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, just so tragic. Someone, was, Elizabeth Quinn says, "Not tragic. They allowed him back in their home. Enablers." Uh, I can't argue with that on some level. Obviously, uh, I'm quite certain that they were supporting him financially for many, many years while he was facing all of these addiction issues. And, yeah, I mean, let them, let, Nick into their son, right? Let their son back into their home. I suppose they were doing what they thought was best to try and show him some love and, try to care for him in whatever it was he was dealing with. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of this situation. I can only tell you that as a parent, it would be incredibly hard to have a child dealing with addiction issues that I would just turn away, right?
I mean,
Could it happen? Sure. If they're unrepentant, they're never ever showing any signs of recovery. They're not doing what they need to do to get themselves right, and at some point you just decide I cannot help them anymore. Uh, that would be that would
it,
also be very
I'm not
tragic.
saying
But
that a person that's poor couldn't have, a son with those issues, but I think it's also a case where these children grew up with a lot of money, with a family with a lot of money, and I have a feeling that this kid, went on the wrong path. I don't know if they could have done anything differently that he'd be on a different path. There were years apparently that he kind of ran away from home and was even
yeah,
homeless and lived on the street and all this weird stuff. This was a really, really problematic kid. I don't know. I still don't understand why they would bring him to a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's house. I think that that probably was not a good idea based on,
does
and even
seem
there, they were telling people that they're very worried and concerned about him. But if you're worried and concerned about him, don't put him in a situation like that. It's best. I mean, I'm Monday morning Porter back, and I'm talking about people that lost their lives. So there's nothing really that can be done at this point. Maybe they just wanted to believe the best. I mean, as much as he had problems, he was still their son, and I guess they weren't expecting that whatever happened to them happened. But I don't know. I don't know what could have
yeah.
been done differently, but if the kid had these kind of problems, uh, I feel like something else should. Can you commit somebody? I don't really know. I have no idea what you do in a situation like this, but
Yeah,
it is a tragedy how this all ended up.
it really is. Yeah. And for all of his politics or whatever, Rob Reiner was an incredible creator. He made tons of, you know, incredibly fun, enjoyable films. He's made some absolutely classic American films. Some classic, well, I mean, maybe not so American films like This Is Spinal Tap, right? It's obviously he's American. It's an American film, but it's about these British characters. He's also, was the director of The Princess Bride, which is another family classic. There's lots of other Great stuff. A Few Good Men, I believe that was one that he made, right?
Great movies. I think Misery was
Yeah.
his as well. Listen, this guy, he didn't have 70 million movies, but every movie that he released, almost every one of them was, I hate to say it because I sound like one of those Gen Z jerk offs. Sorry, Sean. Like every movie was a banger, you know, like
Mhm.
he didn't really like maybe there's some movies he did that I'm not thinking of that weren't that good, but for the most part, his run of movies was really impressive. Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, and this I'm not even Googling. I'm just thinking now.
Yeah.
Stand By Me, Misery, I think was his. You
Yeah,
have
Misery was his,
A
yeah.
Few Good Men. You know, those four movies in and of itself, like all four that I just mentioned, are iconic. And I feel like I'm forgetting a few. What else?
Yeah, he had a few others in that era. Dang it. Can't say anything. The Sure Thing, if I can use my words. The Sure Thing, yeah, Harry Met Sally
Harry Met Sally.
was another one that was a huge hit. Uh he had some others later on that weren't quite so big, but they did, they were popular. The American President,
The American
those
President, is that the one with Michael Douglas that he falls in love with Annette Bening?
yes, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I could, you know,
It's
if you
it's
it
okay. I've seen it. It's not my bag, but it wasn't a bad film.
he has
It's
good movie. No, it wasn't a
yeah.
bad movie, but if I had to kind of rank his movies, that doesn't stand up there with like those really, you know, strong ones.
Yeah.
I think that out of all the ones that he had, maybe A Few Good Men, I think is it's like the most quality out of them. Oh, Princess
Mhm.
Bride. Princess Bride
Yeah,
is really
Princess
good.
Bride is, when I think of him, I think of Spinal Tap, I think of Princess Bride. But yes, A Few Good Men, great film and great performances in that too. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. But he was really solid in that movie.
It was the
And
right role for him, and
yes, and him going, against Jack Nicholson and their dynamic in that, the chemistry that they had, of those 2 different characters worked so well, and, it was
I
really
mean,
enjoyable.
I've said this before and I'll still say it again. I understand that maybe on a personal whatever for whatever reason you don't are not a biggest fan of Tom Cruise. And for years, you know, there were times that I was kind of lukewarm about him and he did seem kind of strange to me and things like that. But I will say this, Tom Cruise has certain roles that are good for him. If you need, like, especially during that age or where he was in life, the hotshot, arrogant, like guy that comes in and thinks he's like so awesome, whatever. It actually really good fit for Tom Cruise. It was a good type of role also in Rain Man. He also had a role like that. The Color of Money with Paul Newman. You know, especially when you have another kind of big actor next to him, maybe even like a classic iconic actor next to him, and he has to play like the younger, hotshot, arrogant douche. I'm not saying that in real life he was that way or is that way, but somehow those roles actually are a good fit for him. And A Few Good Men really, really, you know, tapped into what he does best, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Aside from action, if you have like action movies and he goes around and he does his stunts, he can do that. But when it comes to like dramatic acting, A Few Good Men was exactly like that was probably his best role to date, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a really great film, and there's some great performances in it too, so
He was
yeah.
great in Tropic Thunder. I'll give you that. I thought he was good in it. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He was good in that. I mean, listen, you know, I understand. He's a strange dude, and I can understand the different opinions people have, but he does take his work professionally. And over the years, my appreciation for him has kind of grown. I think did you say that you didn't watch Top Gun Maverick?
Oh, no, I've seen them both.
I thought that was a good movie. I thought he was good in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's fine. I actually think I probably liked Maverick a little better than the original Top Gun. That was one I was talking with somebody the other day about, the really hit movies that the movies that everyone loves, but you don't really care that for all that much. Top Gun is one of them. I know it's just like this quintessential 80s film. I don't know. I just never got into it. Was
It's
not something that just blew me away.
there's not a lot of substance behind Top Gun. Top Gun is kind of like a, you know, it has that 80s charm to it. I will say that I respect that once Tom Cruise, produced, and they brought back this movie after so many years, the fact that they kind of gave it a little more depth and meaning, I actually thought that they did a really good job with Top Gun Maverick. And yes, technically, Top Gun Maverick is a better movie than Top Gun.
Yeah.
I agree. It's the
It
better
just
movie.
it just has, yeah, it just has a better plot, has a better story.
I
There's,
mean, the
a
first one
lot.
has a very kind of thin plot if you
It
think about
does.
it.
It's extremely thin, yeah.
It's extremely thin. I mean, it gets the right beats correctly, and it has the music and the '80s atmosphere, and it just there's like a checklist of '80s stuff that it seems to do, and it's fine, I guess. But Top Gun Maverick is a much more serious movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Serious isn't good,
Well,
like it's a much better movie.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know what the last movie was you saw from Rob Reiner. Unfortunately for me, it was Spinal Tap 2, which I thought was, well, just a notch above terrible. But other
I
people
see.
had different opinions. I don't know.
I
But
didn't watch Spinal Tap 2.
yeah.
I'll be honest. I watched Spinal Tap 1. I've seen it maybe you're gonna laugh at me. I've seen it maybe once, and the last time I saw it was probably like, 15 years ago or something, or 20 years ago. It's not a movie that I watched a lot. I don't really know why I didn't watch it a lot. I think that as a kid, I tried like as a young kid, I tried to watch it, but I couldn't really understand all the humor, even though I'm like I've always been into music and playing music, but somehow I didn't fully connect with it as a young kid when I think I once saw it then. And then years later I really sat down, as a young adult and watched it proper and I enjoyed it more. But at the same time, it's not one of those movies that for me has been like, there's other
Mhm.
movies that I like more than that one, although I recognize that it's a good movie. And Spinal Tap 2, I didn't even see it.
Yeah. He does have one unreleased project. You might have heard, after Spinal Tap 2, they decided to do a project
Concert.
called, yeah, it's a concert called Spinal Tap at Stonehenge: The Final Finale. That is supposed to be sort of the end of the whole experiment with Spinal Tap. And I do kind of want to see that, but at the same time, Spinal Tap 2, man, oh, it was rough. A few people in the a few people in the chat said they don't want to see it or whatever. Yeah, it is not it's not terrible. It's not the worst movie that I've ever seen, but the plot is almost non-existent, and the actors very much showing their age, and it didn't work very well
It's
for
really
me.
hard to
The
recapture any kind of magic,
Yeah,
but I
the
will say
yeah, go ahead.
just Karate Werewolf said I prefer Walk Hard as a mockumentary. Walk Hard is an underrated movie. It came out. I think that nobody went to see it. Nobody liked it. I don't even think I saw it in the theater, but I saw it later. In one of those kind of HBO or later, whenever it was, and I watched it. And I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised by it. It's the type of movie that I've seen a number of times. I didn't watch it a million times, but every several years I've run into it and there's just some humor and jokes there that really work in my opinion. It's like, did you ever watch Walk Hard?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's been I think I saw it on video or HBO or something shortly after it,
I mean,
came to home video, but I haven't seen it since. It was okay. I didn't love it, but it wasn't terrible. I had, fun with it. Obviously, it was meant to be, a takeoff on the Johnny Cash, uh,
it did have that.
autobiography
I
or
personally
whatever,
thought that it had a lot of
biopic.
good jokes. Not only that, the music that they did, which John C. Riley actually sang a lot of like all the songs or whatever it is, they did a really really good job with the music, with the different eras of music. If you're a musician and you like music, there's something fun to be enjoyed with that movie, and I think that John C. Riley gave an amazing performance. Very very underrated performance in that movie. It was not easy to juggle the type of things he had to do there, and there's a lot of quotable lines in the movie for me. I don't know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it wasn't your cup of tea. I understand.
No, again,
I
I didn't like hate it. It was fine. I guess I don't know. Maybe just some of the jokes didn't land with me as
The
well.
one thing that I always remember, and I don't know why, there's the scene where he's with, like, in bed with a woman, and his wife walks in, and he's like, they're both naked, and he tells his wife, "This isn't what it looks like."
This isn't what it looks like. I do remember that. Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like it probably out of any of the times they've ever used that sentence in any kind of movie or show, that has to be the funniest use of it because it's so over the top. The way he's like, standing with her and like the wife is looking at him, like there's no other explanation to what can be going on there. There couldn't be anything else than what it looks like. That's what makes it so funny.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I was thinking of mockumentaries now because Walk Hard. Uh, have you seen? It's kind of related to Spinal Tap because it's Christopher Guest project. Have you ever seen Best in Show?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh my god, absolutely hilarious! It was the early 2000s. Let's see. Oh, it came out in 2000. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
it's called Best in Show. It's a mockumentary, very much in the same style of this is Spinal Tap and other mockumentaries, but the whole thing is supposed to be a documentary about people taking their dogs to a dog show. The like living the life in dog show world, and it is hilarious. They have some incredible actors that they got for it. Obviously, you get Christopher Guest; he's in all of his own films. But they had Fred Willard, they had Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, just an incredible cast, and it's so funny because they have every little trope you can think of, every little thing. There's the there's the gay couple, there's these people that their dog is their entire life. There's it's incredibly funny. It's also very weird, but as mockumentaries go, that one's really funny. And then there's another one called Drop Dead Gorgeous. This one is one that is kind of underrated. It's one a lot of people haven't heard of. It came out in 1999. It has a bunch of young actresses in it. Kirsten Dunst, Denise Richards, Ellen Barkin. But it also had as some of the older characters, Kirstie Alley and let's see, Amy Adams was in there. She's super young when she was in that one. There's a whole bunch of these actors that went on to do a bunch of other stuff. But this is one that my wife and I saw when we were dating, and it is hilarious. The whole thing, it's a mockumentary about beauty pageants, and it happens in like rural Minnesota, so it's this beauty pageant. Everyone has their accents, and it's ridiculous. It's very, very funny. Someone mentioned A Mighty Wind. Yes, that's another Christopher Guest one. Zunar J5 mentioned A Mighty Wind. That's another one from
isn't the Mighty
Christopher
Wind
Guest.
something with Angelina Jolie that she?
No. A Mighty Wind it was another Christopher Guest mockumentary. This one is about uh, an old like folk band
Okay.
called the Folksmen.
Ah,
So it's
okay.
it's very much in the exact same vein as
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, except this is a folk rock band trying to like
Wait a minute. Wait a
relive
minute.
its best years.
What was the movie that Angelina Jolie played? The wife of a guy of a reporter that was killed by in some kind of Middle Eastern situation.
Oh,
A Mighty Wind, isn't that what it was called? She had curly hair and she tried to play some lady, and I don't know if the lady was diverse and people got upset at her. I can't even remember now.
mm,
This is so. Why can't I remember that stupid thing? What was it called? A
I don't
Mighty
know.
Wind. Angelina Jolie, come on, somebody has to know this.
Is it A Mighty Heart?
Ah, okay.
A
I was
Mighty Heart?
close enough. A
Yeah,
mighty
yeah.
wind, a mighty heart. The fact that I even knew that such a movie exists was
Yes.
already like an
I
achievement.
have never I don't think I've ever even heard of this movie.
Nobody has, nobody has. She looked weird in it. She had this curly hair. I think she was trying to look like more, you know, I don't know what ethnicity she was trying to look. I think that some people were unhappy with her playing this role or something. Even back then, before all the woke stuff, I think some people were unhappy,
Oh.
but I can't really remember. It's all like very fuzzy.
I think I have intentionally watched maybe 3 Angelina Jolie movies. Aside from her being easy on the eyes, I've never cared for any performance she's ever given in a film. I don't think she's a good actress at all.
No, I don't really think much of her either. I mean, Phantom Monk said a mighty rack. I mean,
Again,
that was
she was in, especially, in her younger years, she was quite the looker.
and
I'm not gonna
Lara
argue.
Croft. Yeah, that was good. The Tomb Raider movies. I thought she did okay in that.
Yeah.
There was something like Girl Interrupted, which, like, I thought she was okay in that. I think they gave her an Academy Award, and since then, people are always, like, kind of hyping her up, but I watched it. I mean, she was fine in that movie. She was okay. I don't know if she was Academy Award winning worthy, but it was fine, I guess. I'm trying to think of what movies I saw that I really thought she was great in. Uh, Tomb Raider, Girl Interrupted, I guess, okay. Anything else? Where else, like,
Eternals. You thought that was amazing. This is one of your favorites. Yeah.
oh, that was, like, the worst. We talk a lot about, like, the worst, comic book movies and stuff like that. Eternals ranks amongst the worst I've ever seen. It was such a boring movie.
It was.
If I had to do, sometimes you have, like, superhero movies, you can say, like, the dumbest, like, Madam Web is, like, one of the worst I've seen, but it's one that I kind of sat and I was laughing through it because of how bad it was. But with Eternals, the worst thing is you wanna sit and laugh at it, but it's so boring that you can't even stay awake to make fun of it. Do you get what I mean? Like, it
No,
has
I
to
know
go
exactly
down.
what you mean. It's
It
it's so dull.
it's
It's
too boring to
way
even take.
too long.
Totally. It's
The
like
c
if we did
ugh.
now a list of, like, the most boring superhero movie ever, I think that, Eternals could be a serious contender for the number 1 spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even sure if, Ang Lee's Hulk movie is worse than that. I mean,
I haven't watched that one in many years. I wonder what I would think about it now. I personally, I'm gonna say something that may be controversial. I don't rate Ang Lee very much. I think that maybe with
no.
his hidden crouching dragon, tiger, whatever, it's fine. When it comes to, like, more Western movies, he hasn't got a clue. Like, he made that Hulk movie. I didn't mind, like Eric Bana. I didn't mind some of the things there, but I think he didn't really fully understand what he needed to do with that movie. Brokeback Mountain. It was a movie that I feel like he came. Let's put it this way. In his country, he could never make that movie, and it's funny how once they let him have, like, an American production, he immediately wants, like, American cowboys, like, seemingly the symbol of masculinity, into each other in the desert. You know what I mean? Very
Yep.
strange that that was, like, his passion project. That guy that in his own country, like, if he made that movie, it would be frowned upon, and that's putting it mildly, especially during those days. Yet somehow everybody gave him a pass to come to the US and make cowboys, fond of each other. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Professor?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you
It's
do you get what I mean? Like, do you understand that generally speaking in his own country, this would be
no,
frowned
no, no,
upon?
he would not be
Why
able to
were they
make
all
that
so
movie in his own.
excited that he would come to America and take cowboys on horses and make them fond of each other?
Yeah.
I know I'm a terrible person for thinking this, but I'm thinking,
Yes.
like, maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe this is, like, part of a. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, when I look at it
Yeah.
now historically, of all the weird crap that we've seen over the years and how countries like that seemingly like weird crap to be spread here, if that wasn't, like, an early sign of that. Like, you wanna
Pu
tell me that guy with the crouching dragon and hidden tiger, he woke up one day, he's like, "I gotta go to America and make this movie about cowboys that
make a movie about gay cowboys.
gay
That's what I
cowboy
gotta do.
desert. Gotta
Woo!
do it,
Yeah,
gotta do this is
and
my this is my calling." You know what I mean?
He
Went from,
woke
like,
up one
cool
day
action ninja stuff to, like, dudes in the desert.
he woke up one day and said, "I wish I could quit you."
Yeah. Very, very, very strange, this whole thing. And then what else did he have? What else did he even make? Well, he made, the Hulk movie.
There was like what was it, Four Weddings and a Funeral?
Mm.
Was that the name?
4 Weddings and a Funeral, isn't that with, Hugh Grant? That's like a funny movie.
No, maybe it wasn't that. What was
I think it's like a romantic comedy with Hugh Grant and Andy McDowell
no,
or something like that.
no. What was I thinking of? No. Oh, The Wedding Banquet
Ah.
was one name. I'm trying. So
Because the
yeah,
four weddings and a funeral was
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
half watchable. I'm not gonna say full watchable because it's still like some dumb, shitty, romantic comedy crap. Sorry, ladies, but it was like if you're
what was
already
I thinking?
forced to
Oh,
watch one of those crappy romantic comedies, it was at least watchable. Which, by the way, out of all the romantic comedies, one of the more watchable ones was actually When Harry Met Sally, and I would argue that that's the movie that ushered in a whole era of like copycats that until today they still try to use that blueprint to try to make romantic comedies. The thing is with Harry Met Sally is because it wasn't using the blueprint, it was just kind of doing whatever it was doing. The movie comes off as more likable than a lot of those other ones that came out later. Like you can already tell once you got Sleepless in Seattle, which was trying to like play the whole thing with Meg Ryan. Only now, instead of Billy Crystal, that brought a little bit of an edge to the role, and like I struggle to remember the other guy, which was in The Godfather. He was like a character, and Carrie Fisher was there, so you had something a little more interesting going on in Harry Met Sally. Once they went to Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan,
yeah.
that's like when they already took it to the next level of cheesy crap. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was
Oh
the
yeah.
initial diminishing return of like, oh, this is a romantic comedy. Well, instead of Billy Crystal, why don't we bring Tom Hanks and make it cheesy and dumb? And then they keep making more of them. You know that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan have starred in like 4 movies together. Like I think they
Oh
have
no, yeah, and they're all the same movie.
all the same. Well, there's one that was a bit different. The first one that they weren't still, they didn't really know what to do with them yet. But it's something like it's not a full romantic comedy. It's like something else that Tom Hanks, his character, thinks he's going to die. It's called Joe versus the Volcano. He thinks he's going to die, and then he's on some island where he meets her, and it's like the dumbest, stupidest movie
Yeah.
ever made. Joe versus the Volcano. But the thing is that Sleepless in Seattle. That was the one that they tried to capitalize on the Harry Met Sally thing and made it cheesy and annoying far beyond anything reasonable. And then they went and they ahead and they did something called, I think, You've Got Mail. If you thought Sleepless in Seattle was
Oh
bad, I
God.
dare you to watch You've Got Mail. I dare
Oh,
you to watch that fucking movie.
I have
Sorry,
I have
Sean.
unfortunately seen this. Yeah, I've seen both. I've seen both Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, and they're both
They're
atrocious.
both atrocious. I'm ashamed to tell you that I've seen them both as well, but I've only seen them once. I've seen them once, suffered. I don't remember in what context. I don't know why I would put myself through that. Maybe I was with a woman and that's why I watched them. I can't really
Yes,
think
that
of
would
a
be
good
why I
reason.
watched them.
Can't think of a good reason why I would watch Sleepless
Yeah.
in Seattle or You've Got Mail. Two very very shitty movies. Sorry, Sean.
Actually, I
Uh,
think Sleepless in Seattle, my mom rented it and we were home on the weekend or something and she had it on and I just sat and watched it. I don't know why. But yeah, I remember not thinking Joe versus the Volcano was all that bad. Of course, it's been a really long time since I saw it.
I've only seen that movie once, and it was
Yeah,
when it came out. So, it could be that today I would watch it and I have a different feeling about it.
yeah.
What's the fourth movie? I can't remember now. I feel like there was a fourth one, but I
There was a
can't.
World War II movie called Ithaca that they made together.
Don't even that one. I don't even think I've
Uh,
seen. But
but
it's also a shame that Meg Ryan. I haven't seen a picture of her lately, but she was actually a decent looking woman back in the day, and I think that she got an excessive amount of strange procedures.
mhm.
And then for a long time, you almost didn't see her in public. Like, I think that she didn't, you know, I feel like she overdid it. She may have just taken it a step too far. And since then, like, you don't even see her much.
Yeah, that unfortunately seems to happen to a lot of ladies in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean,
They are basically told they've got to keep making themselves look younger as as they age if they're going to keep getting work. They're not allowed
but
to
some of them are
just
doing it better.
age.
Some of them are
Some
doing it
are.
better than
Yeah,
others.
absolutely. And I thankfully I think there are some women in Hollywood who reject that kind of stuff, right? Who basically said no. They might have the tiniest little thing like they might have some chemical peels and stuff like that, but they're not getting like surgery, heavy surgeries and stuff like that. A lot of them now, it's just a lot of like Botox and stuff that they get. Unfortunately, some of them go a little too far with that too. There's a difference between doing a little here and there to, to keep yourself looking a little nicer than just going full out and getting crazy surgeries. I mean, obviously it's not even just women. There's plenty of male stars that have gone overboard and gotten all kinds of work done, and it makes them look
Yeah, the
astonishingly terrible.
Kay Summer says the lady from The Boys messed up her face so bad. It's unclear. The one from The Boys looked great. There was nothing. She had to do nothing. She just had to sit there. She was young. She looked good. Nobody had any complaints. Nobody thought anything negative about her. And then she did all this weird stuff and nobody knows why. I guess some of these people in Hollywood, they feel that kind of pressure. Uh, I
Yep.
mean, I can sort of understand it. I can sort of understand it because I've been, I've worked enough in entertainment to see people that are under that kind of pressure. You're trying to get a gig, you're trying to get something on TV, you want to sell it, you want to sell something to a network or to a studio or whatever, and you think it doesn't matter, but at the end they'll say, well, if this guy or this girl doesn't look good enough, maybe we can get a younger person or a different person. So you're always being judged. I can understand it. Uh, I can understand why some people would feel that kind of pressure, but at the same time, I think that there also has to be like kind of some kind of common sense. I am not an expert. Don't ever listen to anything I have to say about any of this. I don't know anything about it, but I will say that just my instinct tells me that the more you wait before you start doing all these like more serious procedures, the better it is. Like if you can hold out as many years as possible and then just gradually here and there do stuff. I mean, there are actresses. I think of somebody like Reese Witherspoon. I'm sure that she's gotten work done over the years, but whatever work she's gotten done doesn't seem, at least until now, like this kind of over the top
Hmm.
stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
if you wait a long time and you just do it kind of minor little things here and there, I think that that probably is better. Sometimes you
What?
also have, like, women who just, naturally stay good looking, like, Halle Berry, for many years has
Mm,
pretty much kind of
yeah.
looked good all the time, and I don't know, every time you think already, well, she's getting older, and, like, you see a picture of her at some event, you're like, "Wow, she still looks good." Like, I don't know, some women are capable of doing that. And yeah, I know that Jennifer Lopez, somebody could say that she's kind of annoying maybe, and I couldn't completely argue, but she takes care of herself. Can't say that she doesn't.
Yep. Well, Price, before we move on to another topic, of course, I would like to say once again, rest in peace, Rob Reiner and his wife as well. Very, very tragic. But we went way off on on a
Yeah, I
tangent
don't
on
even
that
know
one.
where we are. How did we get
But
here, professor?
just one thing to another. But I think before we move on to another topic here, we've got a number of gifts, super chats, and gifts over on YouTube. If we want to highlight those and
Okay, I'm gonna do that
cover
now. Yeah,
those
I
real
got
quick.
you. Thank you. I see that the dead man. I hope he didn't run away. Sorry, dead man. It always takes us a bit of time until we do all this stuff.
We circle back around. Hey, it's not as bad as like you go to some of these big channels and chats and stuff, and then it's like 45 minutes to an hour before they'll ever do anything, and then they're talking about stuff that people submitted before the show.
Right, like from last stream, they're doing a
Yeah,
catch
they're
up
still
thing.
catching up from the previous stream. Yeah.
Thankfully, here at the Night Owl, we don't have that kind of trouble. We will always read your super chats. Let's see. Stop sharing. How do I share it? This is me with all the technology. Oh, I
Okay.
have to do this.
Yeah, presentation. There you go.
Okay. So the let's see what happened here. We have the Dead Man for 4.99. Thank you, the Dead Man. The Dead Man is a friend of the channel. He also does his own Star Trek stuff on his channel, which you should check out. Gump or me in reality, my mama told me that if I have nothing to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. And that's what we were saying before about Trump. You know,
Yeah.
Trump is Trump. I don't. It really
He
doesn't matter to me
is.
if you
I
liked him
know.
or not. I already know what he's like. I just think that in this case, maybe he could have said nothing. Sometimes saying nothing is better than saying
Yeah.
something if you don't have
Yeah.
something good to say. The dead man said the wrong kid died. That is from the movie Walk Hard, and that is actually a really funny sentence. It's a quotable line from the
Yes, I
movie,
do. I remember that. Yes.
and that because he keeps saying it, the wrong kid died, the wrong
Wrong
kid
kid
died. Like he keeps
died.
saying, yeah, it's funny. The dead man, 79. The wrong, oh, the wrong. Okay, that was 199. The wrong kid died, and then we have Karate Werewolf sent 5 Price of Reason live gift memberships. Thank you so much, Karate Werewolf. Karate Werewolf has one of the coolest names. That's just a really cool name, and I'm always happy when he's here, just because I like his name. I mean, he seems okay too, but you know what I'm saying. And in any case, the 5 Price of Reason live gift memberships, very generous of you. Thank you very much, Karate Werewolf. And then the Dead Man again for 4.99. In my dreams, what does it say?
In my dreams, you're blowing me. Some kisses.
Oh, that's from the song. Yeah, that's from the that those songs in that Walk Hard movie are
Yes.
so funny.
And
I mean, I understand that you watched it once and you didn't like it, Professor, but man, those
I
songs
didn't
are
say I didn't
funny.
like it. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't make a big impression on me. I just thought it was
It's
all right.
like, I there's things that are funny. There's even like a deleted scene that I once saw, and even that cracked me up. Uh, I think that one of the reasons the movie works so well is that John C. Riley just gives an amazing performance.
Oh,
John
he's completely bought in. I mean, he's 100% it there for this ridiculous role. he,
He's a
he
really good
he is
character
funny.
actor.
He is funny.
He like, any role that you give him, he takes very seriously, and he has like a really wide range. I feel like he's a very underrated actor, maybe because like, he doesn't he doesn't look like a leading man, for lack of a better way to describe it, but at the same time as a character actor, he's absolutely brilliant. Even in that show, that first season with the Lakers that he played like Jerry Buss, fantastic performance. Again, held that show together.
Yeah.
The second season, it was strange because it wasn't as good as the first one, and then they canceled it last minute. I don't It was so weird what happened with the second season of that show. It was like a hit show, aired the second one, it went off a cliff, and they canceled it, like, towards the end of the season all of a sudden. But I also tend to think that the Lakers threatened that they would sue HBO, because I don't think anybody at the Lakers was happy that they were doing that show. It wasn't like a show that they were, um, going along with. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they didn't like the show, they wanted it squashed, but instead they just, did whatever they felt like on that show, and I think a lot of people got really annoyed.
What was that? It was called Winning Time. Was that the name of it?
Winning Time, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that
I
the
think I saw an
original,
episode or two of that, but
the
that was
book was called Showtime because that's the Showtime Lakers, but I think that, HBO didn't want a show called Showtime
yeah,
because Showtime is
exactly.
their competitor, so they changed it to Winning Time.
Yeah.
It's true, and,
I would imagine they wouldn't wanna do a show called Showtime.
And I'll tell you what, that first season, I thought that they did a pretty good job. Like, I feel like they found an interesting balance between making, like, Jerry Buss kind of a douche on one hand, but on the other hand, it was hard not to like him. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you liked him even though he was a douche, and they found an interesting balance. I'm sure that if I looked at it now, there's probably some stuff that they put in that was more like modern audience crap that they shoved in there, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't modern audience. That it was just, I think that they just gave you the vibe of what it was like in the '70s, and I didn't completely hate it. There were some good performances there, and again, John C. Riley, out of the park. Like, he doesn't really put in bad performances, in my opinion.
No. He's even I enjoyed him as a voice actor in the Wreck-It Ralph films. My kids love
Great.
those movies, and he was a great voice actor in that role. Yeah.
Great in that, and, you know what's funny is that there were some, I'm trying to think. Because of John C. Reilly, there's a rift between Will Ferrell and between, Adam McKay, and I think Adam McKay was the guy that also directed, Step Brothers, I think, and with some of those other classic Will Ferrell movies. I think that now they're not cool with each other anymore because what happened was is that show Winning Time, Will Ferrell wanted to be the Jerry Buss character, and then by the time it came along, for some reason, Adam McKay kind of did a maneuver and gave the role to John C. Reilly instead. So I think what happened is I think Will Ferrell may not be as good friends with John C. Reilly as he was. And apparently, that whole incident triggered some big dispute between him and Adam McKay. They were business partners and they split up. So now they don't work together. They're not like friends anymore unless something changed. And all because of that thing with the casting and the Winning Time. And to be fair, I watched Winning Time and I'm going to tell you the truth. John C. Reilly was a better fit. You know
Mhm.
why? Because John C. Reilly, he comes from drama and comedy. He can do anything. So if you have now like the biggest drama, he'll do the biggest drama. If you have like the most hilarious thing, he'll do the most hilarious thing. And he can jump between them. And I think that in Winning Time, you needed those kind of qualities, which is probably why Will Ferrell was pushed out. Because I think Will Ferrell is good when it's more funny, but I wouldn't say that he's the best dramatic actor. He's probably
Yeah.
okay, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't know how we got here. Oh, the thing with the super chats.
Yeah.
The Dead Man, thank you very much, and thank you, Karate Werewolf. Really appreciate everything.
Yep.
I will say this: did you see something? Because I forgot to ask you about it. Didn't Trump say that Tim Walz has to resign? But I don't remember what did he say? Why? Because they're
Oh
uncovering
my
all this fraud there with the
god.
votes.
Ugh, Tim Waltz is an
He does. He
absolute
does. I've never
joke.
been impressed with Tim Walz, to be honest.
This man could have been our vice president.
That would have
Uh,
been a disaster if Tim Walz would
and
have been our vice
he
president.
is absolute he's just a joke. It's unbelievable how just idiotic he is at some stuff. So part of what happened. So it's been a few days. I guess it was actually at the end of last week. He was doing a press conference. Did you see any of this? He's doing a press conference talking about the whole issue because remember, there's this huge, fraud case now. They've got like 80 some people
I think was that the
in
thing that he said
Minnesota.
that you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of in The Godfather 2 when there's a scene that the senator is on the take and he's like, "Oh, I love Italian Americans," and then he like leaves the Senate. So that reminded me of that thing that I think you're talking about, where Tim Walz is like, "The Somali community are like the pillar of the salt of the earth," or whatever it is. Like it reminded me of that scene from Godfather 2, if that's the one you're referring to.
So this I'll show. I'll
Yeah,
pull
if you
up
have it, play it.
I'll pull up something here. Maybe I might have one or two clips. So basically, in this press conference, this was back on the 12th. Looks like. So he was talking, and people were asking questions about all of this. This massive fraud. They're talking about over $1 billion in fraud that's happened. All of this COVID money that was stolen through various different programs, various different groups, and there's 80 some different people who have been charged. 60, some of them have already been found guilty, and there's still 20 some cases left. But like we're talking in this massive fraud that's going on, like like 87%, or I don't know, it was 60 some of them of this whole group were Somalis. This was a almost exclusively Somali issue that was happening. It was happening in their communities, in their areas. The groups were run by Somalis, and so now people are saying, "Hey, why weren't we watching this? Why weren't we watching? Why weren't we trying to figure out exactly how this happened or why this happened or whatever? Why weren't you looking into these things?" And started to do things like starting to claim that the Somali community were victims.
I
right?
remember.
Just unbelievable. So
Do you have
here's
the
one
video? I
video.
remember. That's what I'm saying. That he was trying to cover for them. That's exactly what I was saying, and it
Yeah,
does tie into The Godfather 2. See, The
yeah.
Godfather 2.
No,
What
I know what you
happens
mean.
is he like Michael Corleone is in the Senate, and they're questioning him about his activities, and like one senator who's on his take comes in and says like positive things about the Italian community. It reminded me of Tim Walz here.
Do you want to hear more from members and leaders from the Somali community to say, we need to look at ourselves, we need to hold our own neighbors accountable, because look at the damage that this has done to our community. What do you want to hear more from, instead of just saying, don't blame us? Do you want to see more ownership and oversight from within this?
Look, it's not law-abiding citizens. If that were the case, there's a lot of white men should be holding a lot of white men accountable for the crimes that they have committed. I think for the community to maybe educate their population, because I think what you're seeing here is there's secondary victims in this, that there's providers inside the community that are then victimizing the community themselves by signing them up. Because when we're going to some of these people, they're like, I had no idea I was in this program. So I think it's asking us then, for every crime, which of course the majority being committed by white men, asking us to do more about that. I think it's crime in general. And I think the biggest thing on this is just making sure that we're educating the population. And again, this is 80 people or so that have been convicted in this, maybe some more in.
Oh my God. Oh, no, white men. It's white men that should be, white men should be held responsible. What?
How did he manage to spin this on race? At the end of the day, this
Because he's
really
a
isn't.
racist.
Yeah, he is.
He's a racist. It's not even surprising, right? Like, just unbelievable. Let's see. Here's another one. Let's see what he has to say here.
Well, Sammy, thank you. And to all the
It's
young
really quiet.
people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country.
Oh god,
I
that was
mean,
an
he's
old
an
one.
old
That
white
was
guy.
that was an older one there earlier.
But he's an old white guy,
Um,
so what does he want?
that's the same one there. White men. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same.
But you know what? Nothing's gonna happen to anybody. Like I even read that all that Letitia James stuff, they just like dismissed everything. Nothing happens to anybody.
Well, I mean, the people that are being found guilty in the Somali stuff right now, they are absolutely being held responsible. I mean, they
No,
are.
but I mean, like when they're like,
but
"Oh,
the politicians, yeah,
the politicians,
yeah.
nothing happens to them." They're like, "Oh, Tim Walz is going to be accountable," but nothing happens to him. And they're like, "Letitia James, nothing happens to her." I don't know if she really did something bad or whatever, but if all that stuff was true with the paperwork, everybody dismissed everything, so nothing happened to her.
Same clip there. I saw some other clips. I'm not really finding them. Here's one.
Donald Trump's calling our Somali neighbors garbage and the state of Minnesota a hellhole is I'm assuming is unprecedented for a United States president. We've got little children going to school today who their president called them garbage. This shouldn't be that difficult of trying to conflate. Look, we see it here. You commit crimes, you go to jail. Doesn't matter what your race is, what your ethnicity, religion. But demonizing the entire group of people by their race and their ethnicity, a very group of people who contribute to the vitality, economic, cultural of this state, is something I was hoping we'd never have to see. This is on top of all of the other vile comments. So let's be very clear. This should be easy to differentiate. You should very easily be able to say, we need to continue to work together. If there's crime, whether it's white, black, who cares, but to be able to condemn this. So I would just be very clear on this. Anyone in this state, especially elected officials, who are unable to condemn this vile attack on our neighbors in our state, you are complicit in it, and it will not stand in Minnesota. So,
yeah, is he talking about the vile attack against white men that he? No. He's talking about something else. No, he's totally okay with blaming an entire group of people for various different crimes and whatever. You know, he's totally okay with that. He's totally cool with he's totally cool with all of that stuff. But he's not cool with white people, right? He's I don't know. I'm so tired of this guy. I can't believe. The funny thing is, he's like, oh, we got all of this and whatever, and these nasty people saying nasty things about our neighbors. Okay, there's like 84,000 of them in a state of almost 6 million. It's a very, very small group. And in that small group, they committed a truly enormous amount of fraud. Fraud against the federal government, stealing all, and it's insane to say, well, not all Somalis are guilty of this, but what about why are white people all held account? I don't get this guy. He is a complete clown.
I'm just happy that he's not the vice president. But to be fair, he looked like a weirdo always. I mean, this certainly didn't help that campaign because Kamala herself was kind of, a weak candidate. And then when they brought Tim Walz, and he just looked like a weirdo from day one, and nothing has changed. He still looks like a weirdo.
Yep.
I mean, whether one likes JD Vance or not, that people can decide for themselves. But when I saw that debate, I thought that JD Vance mopped the floor with Walz in their debate.
Oh, destroyed him.
Like it was embarrassing. Like a lot of people, they talk about the Trump and the debates or whatever, but just so you know that moment with like JD Vance and Tim Walz really reflected poorly on Walz and was like a pretty good win for the Republican side. I think a lot of times you think, oh, those vice presidential debates don't matter that much, but I think that in that specific instance, I do think that JD Vance did a good job. He seemed. I actually, when they were all running, I don't know why I'm thinking about this now. I actually thought that out of the four candidates, he looked like the most serious guy. At least, let me put it this way: if I now owned a business and I was looking for like a CEO, I would probably and I had the four resumes for the Trump, JD Vance, and Tim Walz and Kamala. I would probably hire JD Vance. Are you with me, Professor?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just, sorry.
The thing is that I'm sure that Trump, because he has connections and he is what he could, I'm not dismissing what Trump can do or can't do, but I'm saying if this was like a high tech company or something like that, and you need one of these four people, JD Vance can actually, step into that role. Whereas, the other three, Kamala and Walz for sure can't do anything. Trump could run something, but his style is so, out there that I don't know. I don't know if he's right for every business, you know what I mean? And if I had a business, I want something a little more stable, if you know what I'm saying.
Agreed. Oh, yeah. Phantom Monk, Tim should step down. Absolutely. This all happened under his watch. All of this was allowed to happen. The apparatuses that should have been working to check and make sure that all of these different groups in the state were actually doing with what they were supposed to do with this money, none of them worked. None of them were out there to doing what they were supposed to do to ensure that these businesses that were taking the money were legit, that the money that they were distributing or being distributed to them was actually being used for what it was supposed to be used. Literally, we're talking about millions upon millions of dollars price that was supposed to go to help pay so that kids had food during the pandemic. And a bunch of these groups just pocketed the money and walked away. They
Yep.
never distributed even a cracker. Nothing.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
thing is,
ugh.
I hate to say it, but there are some countries, especially ones that have, like, bad conditions, that the people that live there, their reality is that they do this kind of stuff. And when they come to the US, you'd think, like, that they want to assimilate and they want to incorporate and they want to pursue the dream and all that stuff. But what they really think is, oh, we can do our, like, strange maneuvers here, and like, and people won't even see it coming because they're not used to the kind of, you know, they're not used to our background and where we come from. So all of our tricks that in our place, like, people already can call us out on, here nobody's gonna know what they are. We can just fool everybody. And that's what I feel like happened with that community. I don't want to make generalizations. Maybe there's some people that come from different places that are fine, but I think that letting in so many people from a country that doesn't seem to be doing well, but also they come here and they don't like this place and they take advantage of it. It's all not a great sign. I don't love making generalizations and just say to take everybody and, if they have a legal position here now, to just throw everybody out. But certainly if people are operating in bad faith, or there's these kind of communities doing bad things, well, they don't deserve any rewards, I suppose.
Nope. And I'm still waiting, because I really am hoping that we are going to see these investigations continue, because I guarantee you there are politicians in Minnesota who are connected to this.
Oh, I'm sure. I
There
also
is somewhere, some of them, there's gonna be a paper trail that leads back to them somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that one has to wonder, some of these, politicians that rose to power in some of these places, how they gamed the system.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you think of somebody like Elon Omar. I still don't know how she even became a thing.
No. Ugh. Ugh. I hate even thinking about Ilhan Omar. She's so awful. I just cannot stand her.
But
It's
somebody said,
nonstop.
"Oh, we have proof." But this is the thing that
Yeah.
keeps happening. They're like, "Oh, we have proof with the brother," but then nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. That's just the weird thing, that, like, we hear a lot of stuff, but nobody does anything. And in her case, there is something very fishy about her.
Yeah. Oh boy, we've got some more super chats over
Okay,
on
let's see.
YouTube.
Let's see.
A few more from the Dead Man. I got a sticker from Sagacious 6.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna highlight all of them, and we're gonna go over them now. You can tell the joke in the meantime, Professor.
A joke.
To get to the other side. Hold on. Okay. This wasn't the one I wanted. This I made a mistake. This is the one. Wait, did I share the right one or not? Yes, it was the right one. Okay.
That one has 2.
Oh, it has 2? Okay,
that
sorry.
has 2. Where we have 1, 2, 3 more after that now. So
Okay, I got you. Let's do this. Is this what you meant?
yep, and then we have one more sticker from Karate Werewolf after that.
Okay, I'll get to that in a
We can
second.
get to those. We can do these right now. Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. Price, YouTube wouldn't let me say the other things, but you don't want none of this, do we? That's the thing with Tim Meadows. That is such a great kind of ongoing gag.
Now I'm gonna have to watch this movie again, because it's been so long. maybe I was just in a bad mood the first time I saw it. I don't, you know how that happens, right? Like you'll see a movie and it just doesn't land with you because you're just in a mood. Something's happening, other stuff's going on,
Maybe
and you
you have
just
to be in the right mood, but
doesn't land with you. Maybe I'm gonna have to give it another try because
the scenes there's like ongoing acts. The thing is each time they introduce a new recreational activity, Tim Meadows is like, nah, Dewey, you don't want any part of this shit. And then like at the end he ends up doing it, and they just like go through every drug possible and they do that. It's really funny. Tim Meadows, great in that role. Just perfectly, executed those scenes with Tim Meadows.
I love Tim Meadows. I think he's a great performer. It makes me sad that he doesn't have more work, but the stuff he does do, I really do enjoy.
Yeah, the thing is that Tim Meadows, I've always liked him. I thought during those days in Saturday Night Live, I thought he did great. He
Yeah.
has like a natural capability of just making people laugh. They never know what to do with him. Recently, they put him in that Peacemaker show, completely misused him. I feel like he had something to contribute, but they didn't really know what to do with him. But yeah,
Mhm.
I like Tim Meadows. I think Tim Meadows is cool. Yeah, that's the ladies' man. Ooh, it's a lady.
Oh my
And
God. Oh, the
my
ladies
name is
man.
Leon Phelps. Yeah. Uh, so
That was funny on Saturday Night Live when they did the movie. Oh
it wasn't as
wow.
good. Yeah.
Oh,
The
too
movie
much of a
wasn't
good
that
thing,
good.
I guess. Too much of a good thing.
I guess so. Destiny Captain 247 says 199. We lost Gil Gerard today.
Yeah.
That's from Buck Rogers, right?
Yes. He was from Little Rock, Arkansas. And yes, his biggest role, the one most people recognize him from, was Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I recently just bought this on. I've had the DVDs forever, but I recently bought the Blu-rays with the that nicer HD video. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch that here in the next few days because he did a number of other things over the years. Unfortunately, Gil he dealt with a lot of addiction issues. Started with alcohol, moved on to other stuff, and caused him when he was in recovery, he gained a lot of weight. So he lost a lot of different roles because he was overweight, and he had a rough life. But a lot of people still loved him and enjoyed getting to meet him at conventions and stuff. So yeah, rest in
Yeah.
peace, Gil.
And then you have the Dead Man 79 for $4.99 again. Thank you, the Dead Man. You're so generous today. I really appreciate it. Tim Walz looking into the mirror as Sam Beckett saying, "I'm recruited." Yes, that actually would work. Somebody should do a meme like that. And then let me try to get a bit better image of what's going on here with 6 and the other thing. Let's see if I can make this any better than.
Yeah, Birdhouse Blue says they didn't know that. Yeah, he did get clean, but unfortunately, after dealing with all of his addiction issues, he had problems with compulsive eating, and caused a lot of weight gain, a lot of difficult issues with that. At one point, he was over 300 pounds, and that was a real difficult time for him in his career. So
I had no idea.
yeah,
So
but
6.
he passed away. He passed away. He died of cancer. So one of the few times you hear me use the F word, fuck cancer. Yeah,
I agree. You have 6 sent to 149. Is that like a dumbbell? What is it?
it looks like a dumbbell. Yes, I'm not sure which one of us that's for.
Probably me, and rightfully so. Then we have Karate Werewolf for $2, and that's like is that like a Doge? Shiba Inu?
Yeah,
What's
like a Shiba Inu. Yeah,
kind of
pointing
looks like it? I'm
upward,
just
giving us a thumbs up. But remember, that's
thumbs up.
Canadian $2, so that's only like 80 cents or something.
That's like 2 cents. I'm just kidding. No,
Kidding,
it's
Karate
good.
Werewolf. Thank
It's
you.
good. It's good.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
We appreciate anything, and the $2 Canadian are appreciated. We were just kidding.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? For years, I always thought the Canadian thing when I was growing up, like I thought it was the same thing as the dollar, but how much is it? It's like, the dollar is worth more than it, right?
Huh? Yeah, I don't actually know what the exchange rate is right
I don't
now.
even know what the exchange rate is now. Yeah, I honestly don't remember. But I Canada is one of those places that I used to like to go to. But much like with all the rest of the world, now it's like it seems not as fun. I don't know, maybe you go there and it's still nice to be there, but I uh I feel like it's different now than it was before. I think I told you once when the last time I was in Canada was. Do you remember?
No.
I think I did. I must have said it on some stream somewhere, but I had a friend that lived in Toronto, and I'd known him for a long time, and like we've known each other since since teenagers or whatever you want to call it, and it's like an old friend of mine, and he had a birthday party, and he's just like he invited me to it, and I honestly didn't intend on going because, well, I don't live in Toronto, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
sure, I guess I could fly out there, but I wasn't really looking to do that and I was busy. But then I guess he called me or something, a few days before and he's like, "Oh, are you coming out to my birthday?" And I said, I don't think so. And then he said something, "Oh, I knew, like, of course, like, it doesn't surprise me that you wouldn't come." Like, I don't know what he said. I understood at the end of this conversation that somehow I was the asshole in the whole equation. I didn't mean to be an asshole, but I understood that like this was already I was going into a territory of offending by not going to this birthday party. So I actually didn't tell him anything. I bought a ticket where the party started at his home. I had all the info because he kept thinking that maybe I'll show up, which I didn't intend to. Nothing personal. It just I didn't have time for the trip really. It wasn't convenient for me at that moment, but I just said fuck it. And I took a last minute flight. If the party started like at 7, I was there at 7. Like I landed at the airport, got to the place exactly when the party is starting, and then I forgot to mention this guy is like a party animal. Okay, I knew this would be kind of a wild party, and in order to also, I didn't want to get swept up in so many activities that are happening in this party. I made sure that I had a flight the next day to leave, so I was basically at this party. It started at 7 p.m. I don't think I went to sleep at all. And somehow, maybe at like, 2 p.m. the next day after not sleeping, I took a cab to the airport, got back to New York, and that was it. Less than 24 hours. I flew into the party, flew out, and I feel like it was a nice thing that I did.
Well, there you go. I have never been to Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
Birdhouse Blues mentions, yes, Toronto, the Toronto airport. YYZ. Of course, where Rush got the title of their song.
yeah, and also I probably like, I don't want to say that I smelled like alcohol or whatever, but I feel like, I'm happy I was able to make it to that flight and somehow make it home. It's a very strange situation, but I think it was the right thing to do, I guess. Anyhow, that was my last time in Canada. I don't think I've been since, and it's been quite some time. I kind of liked Canada. Like back in the day, I used to visit there and visit this friend from time to time. Canada always seemed like a
Ooh.
more friendly version of the
Yeah.
United States. Like you have the same kind of
Uh,
stores and same kind of chains and same kind of whatever, but all the people seem like seemingly a little more friendly. But much like with all the other places that have kind of gone off the rails, I feel like Canada is not the Canada that it was either.
Very much so. I have been seeing frequent stories from people. Of course, this is social media. It's not real life, right? But when you see so much stuff about it, it starts to seem very, very real. It sounds like Canada is importing people from certain countries in the Middle East with certain beliefs at a very rapid rate, and it's doing some very real damage to some parts of their country. And they're not the country out there doing it. There's plenty of countries in Europe that are dealing with the same thing. but it sounds to me like there's a lot of communities up there that have been changed rather severely in just the last 4 or 5 years, and not
By the
not
way,
going well for them.
Birdhouse Blues, uh, I just want to say something very strange happened to me this week with Birdhouse Blues. He reached out to me on Twitter and he said, "Listen, there's something that I did that I want you to look at." And he sends me a link. I click on the link, there's nothing there. And then the next thing I know, his account is gone. Like, he doesn't exist on Twitter anymore. The link doesn't exist. So I wonder what that
Hmm.
link was, Professor. Or
I
maybe it
don't
wasn't even the
know.
real Birdhouse Blues.
Who knows?
I know this sounds very strange, but this really
It's
happened to me.
it's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
Mystery.
But yeah. In any case, I like I said, it's the same feeling I get with like England as well. I visited there a number of times in the past, and I really liked it. And then I haven't gone in recent years, and anytime I see like footage or videos or kind of get the feel for what's going on there, I almost don't really feel like going there. It doesn't seem the same anymore. Maybe it's psychological. Maybe you go there and it seems great, but it seems like something is different now.
Oh, yeah. Birdhouse Blues says I'm there. It was a book cover. So
Right, but you said that I should look at it. I click on it and it's gone along with him, along with everything. Like it just, like in the movies when somebody just like vanishes, like his whole footprint. So I thought
he's
to
been
myself, I'll never see this guy again.
erased from existence.
Erased
Back to
from
the
existence.
future.
Exactly.
Right.
So what were we even going to talk about? How do we get to all these places, Professor?
Well, let's see. We got started with Rob Reiner and kind of meandered along talking about various things there. We talked a bit about Trump and Tim Walz, some of his absurdities. You wanted to talk about the finale to Welcome to Derry?
I did, but first of all, we have another super chat.
We do have another super chat or two here. Looks like maybe one.
At least one, I think. I don't know if we have two.
Yeah, just one.
So it's the Phobos, good friend of the channel, is the Phobos for $2. When I got sober, I put on 40 pounds Snickers. Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, addiction is difficult to deal with, and it doesn't matter what it is. Your body, the chemicals, everything's messed up. It's expecting certain things. It's expecting different stuff to come in, and your body's not prepared for all of that to go away, and so it tries to replace it with other things. I have. I've had good friends who've had to quit smoking, and them just telling just all of the stuff they had to deal with that addiction of having the smoking, and not just having the nicotine in their system and having to get used to not having that, but then just the habitual stuff that you have to do, having something in your hand to fidget with, or chewing on a toothpick, stuff like that, to kind of relieve some of that physical uh, you know connection that you have to it. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I have great respect for anyone who's ever had to deal with an addiction and have to break it. It is hard. It takes a lot of work. Yeah.
For sure. By the way, so wait a second. Before we do that, I just wanted to ask, I see today there was some kind of suspect. I don't want to talk too much because some platforms don't like you talking too much, but there was some kind of suspect for the Brown University shooting, but it seemed like the university were scrubbing its own system so that you wouldn't find this person in their own system. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yes, I had seen some stories about this earlier today. There was a guy named Mustafa. We'll just say that.
Yes.
Who was an alum, an actual former graduate from Brown, and a very, very prominent activist, both in supporting the watermelon, watermelon lovers, as well as LGBTQIA plus blah 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 whatever. And
Which is weird. You do realize this always annoys me. It's
oh
like
yeah,
you can't really be all these dumb
no,
people. You can't really be the watermelon enthusiast and the LGBT enthusiast. Those
yeah,
two things are contradict each other. Meaning, you're either or. You're either supportive of this or of that. You can't really be supportive of both. This is the stupidity that I see time and time again, and I don't understand how they don't realize that these things don't work together. It just goes to show you how misinformed they are and how stupid some of these people are.
yeah.
But sorry, go on.
But yeah, so there's been some people who are trying to identify this person, saying there's numerous pictures online of this guy who is a they them, and prominent activist connected to a number of different groups, including some Islamic groups. And Brown has been scrubbing pages, removing pages from their websites to say, well, why they're doing it, they claim, is they're doing it so that people cannot use that for harmful doxing activities. But people who have been doing, their own sort of investigation into this, looking at these pictures, looking at the pictures of the suspect, that these are pretty convincing. There's no reason this guy shouldn't be investigated. Let's just say that. If you look at this guy, this they them, and you look at the person in the videos, they're very, very similar. And there's even been some people who've been doing some work. I don't know. Have you ever heard of gait analysis, Price?
That's when you kind of choose, like, you look at the body structure or something like that.
The body motion and specifically the way that you walk. And so it has to do with the how far you extend certain joints and how you place your feet relative to to your other legs, and how much weight you put on each of those, and so on. So it's kind of fascinating. I actually read a research paper about this years ago. There is using gait analysis, the really good algorithms can uniquely identify someone even in a crowd with like a 90+% accuracy. It's really impressive what can be done. And there's been people who have been doing, suppose, again, this is citizen journalism, citizen investigation, but looking at video of this guy from protests and stuff, and then looking at the video looking at the images that we have from their security cameras, and saying, like, this is a match.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems like at this point,
this is a really solid match. This person needs to be brought in and investigated. You need to find who this person is. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is that we've reached a point that people online are doing more thorough work than some of these people with boots on the ground. And this whole thing with this university has been handled so poorly. I mean,
it really
either they
has.
know something and they don't want to tell people what they know, or there's something else going on. But I don't understand how we have a situation where they had supposedly 800 cameras, and the only footage they showed was some guy that you could barely see his face walking in some street from some strange angle. Like, you have 800 cameras. How is there not a camera in the building where he was in? How do you not have any footage?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
It just doesn't something seems fishy about all of this, but the thing that seems the fishiest to me is that it almost is like they wanted to quickly, you know, instead of just catching the guy and focusing on that, they're focusing more on their image and scrubbing things and weird things like that. And I don't know who's calling the shots there, but it's almost like they also don't want to say who who the guy is that did this attack. They don't want to say who it is, what his background is. I never like that. At the end of the day, whoever it is that did something bad, you say that this is it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this stupid thing that they always try to hide and not tell you who did it. I'm not saying it's not always going to be this group. It could be from a different group. It can be different people. But this idea of trying to hide the info on like a perpetrator and try to put like a positive spin on that, which we've seen from CNN over the years many times, it just annoys me. Just report the fucking news. Don't try to like create diversions so people won't notice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that whole thing is annoying.
Yeah. So this whole thing with Brown's so suspicious. Like, oh yeah, well, no. We just didn't want anyone to try and dox
Dox him?
somebody.
Who gives a shit? Go arrest this guy. Did they even catch this guy, or they're still scrubbing their servers?
I mean, I have no idea if he's been detained or not. Not that I've heard.
How do we know? Like, isn't this dangerous? How do we know he's not going to go to another place and start shooting people? Like, why has he not been brought in? Obviously, they're all scrubbing all their accounts with him, all the servers, so they must think that this is their guy. And it seems like, based on what you were saying, the gate and all that other stuff, it seems like the guy, so why isn't anybody doing anything? It's such incompetency. I don't know. I felt from the first second that there's nobody in charge there. Nobody's doing the right thing, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not privy to the information, but this doesn't look like a situation that's being handled very well.
No, it seems like it's being handled very, very poorly, and I don't get it. Yeah. It seems like they're more concerned with covering things up than they are actually trying to find out who did this.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Which is a disgrace, in my opinion. But yeah. Yeah, Phantom Outsider says, sorry, I combined between two people. It's a late hour. At minimum, pick the guy up and interview him. Yeah, do that. Just fucking say it. Say what? I feel like I don't have any context to what's being said here.
I think they might have been talking to somebody else in the chat.
In any case, I hope that they figure this thing out and that somebody takes charge of this investigation and somebody does something. This can't be allowed to continue, and somebody has to do something. There's a dangerous criminal. He needs to get picked up. But whatever, nothing much we can do now. What's the other thing? So we went Trump, Tim Walz. We went all over the place today. We've been
Welcome to Derry. You want to talk about Welcome to Derry?
Okay, so Welcome to Derry. Let me see for a second. Now, I know you don't like you don't really care for this to begin this, you don't care for
it's not my thing. No, I haven't even watched the new movies. I've seen the original movie, or TV movie, right, from way back when.
Yeah, shout out to Nadia.
Tim Curry.
So I was on Nadia's channel, Horror with Nads. We talked about Derry, and I was there with Katie and Andy, Dual Shock, and with Sketch and Blue Collar Loser and Rachel. Hold on one second. I'm trying to... Her last name. Rachel Mulgier. So that's it. I did it. I said all the names. In any case, that was my shout out. So we were talking about this show. Now, I think I have a better, I'm more open-minded when it comes to these kind of, especially classic horror. Even though these are remakes like the movies, but I like this kind of stuff to an extent. I saw the first It movie. I thought it was pretty good. The second movie was not as good, but It was watchable. It just had some issues. I don't think that they really needed to do anything beyond that. But because those two movies somehow made money, of course, and today you have IPs and franchises, they're not just going to let it rest. The only problem is that I feel like sometimes when you try to do a prequel, when you didn't intend to do one, and you're just kind of trying to scrape something together, that's what this series is. It's like you had the two movies, you introduced Pennywise, in this case, they did it differently in the book, but they introduce him in an 80s timeline. Then, in a more modern timeline, basically, you have the same group of kids that are now adults, battle him again. And I think that the story does whatever it needs to do, and you really don't need to do anything else. But this HBO Max, they insisted that they wanted a series, an 8-part series. So, first of all, you don't need 8 parts for whatever happened in this series. And you could tell, as we always talk about in these kind of modern shows, you often can tell that they're just wasting time. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that if you let me edit those 8 episodes, like I could probably edit it down into like 3, 4 episodes. You don't need those 8 episodes. They're not doing anything for you. Maybe you could have just done one movie. At the same time, also, and I kind of gave this example that it kind of reminded me. The show Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus.
Unfortunately, yes, I do remember this show.
So what did they do with that? It was sort of like, it was in a way it's a prequel to the original trilogy. And what did they do? They tried to first of all add they brought in Vader, which didn't even make sense with what they even did with Vader, but they just wanted him there because people like Vader, so Vader's going to be there even though it doesn't make sense. Then they throw in like, diverse character so that you could always say, "Oh, she was like in the mix," like rewriting the lore so like to make way for a diverse character. Now, I'm not saying that there couldn't have been a diverse character. I'm just saying that the way they seemed to shoehorn in her in there, it was very, very much like that kind of Kathleen Kennedy brand of we're shoving this character in here, whether you like it or not, even if it doesn't even help the story in any way. So I feel like Welcome to Derry has that kind of vibe. First of all, they take Pennywise, that people like seeing him. He's still the best part of the show. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is great. And anytime you see him, you're like, wow, I like this, when there's a scene with him. But anytime he's not on screen and there's anything else happening, it is complete, in my humble opinion, woke propaganda, like from start to finish. There isn't one white man on this show that does anything positive. Anytime you see like a person who's white on this show, you know that like, and it's a male, you know that that person is up to no good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that are diverse are all like, victims, of course, and all that. They're the smart ones and competent ones, but they're all the victims. And anybody that's like not diverse is the most terrible person. And I struggle to remember like one white person doing something good on the show. I thought that there was a kid that was white that did something good, but then somebody corrected me and said that the kid was actually Cuban. So not even that. Like they're just like, fuck it, let's just do a show. And the thing is that it doesn't also make sense with the time. I understand you want to do all this diversity and whatever, but you're doing a show taking place in 1962 in kind of middle America. To suggest that you somehow just like pushed aside all the white people here to tell like a more diverse story, it's a strange time and location to do it. Now, if you're doing a movie in 2025 and it's a more diverse like setup, I think that that makes more sense. But if you're doing like a show that's supposed to happen in 1962, a lot of that doesn't make sense. Not to mention that like there's two girl bosses here. One is a Native American woman who's like the best, and then there's like the woman who's she's the wife to this captain guy who's like an African American captain or whatever, officer, whatever it is. Now this wife is like the most disrespectful and mean and shitty wife that ever lived. And I don't think in 1962, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a complete douche, but I think that in 1962 that lady could not get away with talking to her husband that way, to talking to the police that way, to being an activist, to go around and yelling at people and being bitter and whatever. I don't think that that would have worked. You know what I'm saying? And the other Native American lady is also like, she's a girl boss and she's like telling the police captain what to do and all this other stuff. This show makes no sense. It tries to like force itself into the lore of whatever's happening in the first two movies. It's so desperate to try to tie it into it. It kind of reminds me, you know how in Rogue One, you had like the end with Vader kind of doing all this cool stuff, and like they tried to connect it with A New Hope.
Mhm.
But then the problem with this connection is that once you jump to A New Hope, Vader's not throwing people around anymore. He's relatively tame compared to what he was supposedly like 5 minutes earlier. Do you understand what
Mm.
I'm trying to say?
Sure, yeah.
So in this case, they also try to do all this stuff, but it also doesn't 100% work. It's not a well thought out prequel. It's just like it's a lore breaking, weird woke propaganda shit thing. And the only thing that I'll tell you with it it's good is like Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. But I have I don't have any real compliments to give the team that did this. I think that this was a pretty shitty series, and I hope they don't make more of it. Personally,
Hmm. Okay. I thought the same thing about Obi-Wan.
yeah, but it's like it's a desperate. I kept saying it also in the stream that I was on. This whole show feels like there was an executive board meeting where somebody's like, "How can we squeeze more out of this thing? We got to squeeze more out of this IP." And then somebody said, "Well, what if we did some weak woke propaganda thing and like put Pennywise into it in the '60s?" Somebody just immediately just greenlit that. Yep, go do that. Do you want to look at a script? Nope. Just bring a bunch of diverse people, throw them in there. But wait, it doesn't make sense with the time. I don't care. Just do it. And that's it. That was probably the meeting.
Mhm.
So that's what I think of Welcome to Derry. And some people were like, "Oh, but the children were such good actors." Again, I disagree about that as well. Didn't think that the kids were good. By the way, even with the kids, initially there's like a few boys and a few girls. By the end of it, the three girls, the boys either are dead or one is kind of missing, and only the girls are like going around and doing stuff. The three little girls are the heroes. Men nowhere to be found. At the end, they throw a bone to a boy who's Cuban and let him do something that's like halfway decent. For the most part, this thing is like it's all about the young ladies. Forget about any men doing anything positive, and I don't know what. It's just so stupid. There's a thing with like Native Americans and a dagger, and some angel comes along. There's so much shit in this. I don't want to. I can't bore you with all of it because it's like 8 episodes of shit. But yeah, that's what I have to say about it. I do not recommend this show. I mean, I will say this. If you like Pennywise and you enjoy seeing scenes with Pennywise, that's the one thing to watch for. I would have like removed half of what we see in the series, if not more, left the Pennywise scenes, built a much better story. The only thing I can say is that like Skarsgård gave 110% of himself. There's no complaint about him. He's the only thing that still adds some kind of intrigue to the thing. Otherwise, it's shit. Sorry, Sean. Girl power in Derry, yeah. It's absolutely girl power in Derry.
That's everything nowadays, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
sorry,
it's
Sean.
all about it's just ladies.
All about the
All the
ladies.
ladies.
In
Yeah.
1962, men couldn't do anything. It was all like when it comes to children, or only the girls had any kind of like standing. All the boys were stupid losers that couldn't do anything, and the adults also. The women were the best, and they were the most competent, and they were in charge of everything. And all the men that you could think of in 1962 were just like bumbling fools. That's what they would have you believe is 1962. In any
Mm.
case, I see Pennywise meets Wakanda sequel. Yeah, it's something like that, and the thing is, I sometimes feel like they're just greedy. Like you could have had some diversity in the show. You could have maybe even shown maybe a person that lives in a town like this and maybe has to put up with some kind of discrimination. But if all you're doing is like you're shoving that so hard along with these girl bosses and this stupid thing and the lore breaking in general, it just becomes really draining to watch it. So that's why we lost in Vietnam. No woman in combat. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I mean, if the same people that made this made a movie about Vietnam, they would all be like women, I guess, in the jungle, like, I guess. I don't even know.
Mm,
Ladies that aren't even
yeah,
hot. Yeah, that's
yeah.
another problem. This is another problem. Uh, the thing is that the only way that this man that is married to this lady on the show would put up with her, maybe if she was like super hot, but like she's not really that hot, and she keeps like putting him down and telling him what to do, and she barks at everybody else, and there's like not one moment she's even semi likable. You can't have it all. You know what I mean? At least like back in the day, if you watched a movie and there was like a super hot woman, but she was kind of a bitch, you think to yourself, well, she is super hot. Do you get what I mean, Professor?
Yep.
Like, at least whoever was making the movie, somebody said, "What? We're going to make this character. She's going to be a bitch." Then somebody would say, like in the boardroom, "Yes, but we'll bring a really hot actress," and everybody like, "Okay, okay." But now they're like, "What? She's just going to be a bitch?" And they're like, "Yep." Like nobody makes the effort. Nobody makes the effort to bring the hot women into anything anymore. They're all just miserable. They don't want to bring any appealing women into anything. The only person that's appealing is like Sydney Sweeney. Did you see her go to her movie premiere?
I saw something about that.
I mean, the only thing I can say is that I think Sydney Sweeney needs to find uh, more roles that she can show off that thing that everybody likes
That
about her.
highlight her personality.
Highlight her personality.
Yeah,
Can you see this thing?
yeah. I can see several things.
There's a lot to process here,
There's
Professor.
there's a lot to take in.
A lot to take in here.
I'm not sure I can even get my hands around it.
hard to wrap yourself around this, Professor.
I'd give it a try though, to be honest.
I think I understand what you're saying, Professor. Let me see for a second where there was also some video. This is, I guess,
Not
her.
only is she a lovely woman, but I'm particularly fond of the fact that she seems to be pretty based as well. Like, she doesn't really seem to give a crap what other people think of her, which, damned if that's not attractive. I'm just gonna say it. Like,
I feel like, every time somebody annoys her, she comes to the red carpet looking even better. Like she just
I
like
know.
the more like people annoy her, the more she wants to look good on the red carpet, and I don't have any issue with that. I think that this
Mrs.
is
Sparkle says she's hot but can look derp sometimes. It's the wrong angle, or sometimes she makes some facial expressions. I know what you mean, Miss Sparkle.
I don't have any issue with her. I am fine. I am fine with her. Oh, I see this thing. Discussing film. Amanda Seyfried fully commits to camp in The Housemaid, but Sydney Sweeney almost ruins the film with a truly middling performance. Just so you know that discussing film are like extreme. This is my opinion, of course. I want to add a disclaimer.
Seyfried is an absolute twit, as she's proven just this last week, talking about how amazing communism is.
Yeah,
like, it's the best.
She's completely dumb, but the thing is that I always call them discussing commies, and that's exactly what they are, in my opinion. Like, the thing with discussing film that annoys me is that like 99% of the time they pretend to like be all business, just like reporting on the fluffy shill news, whatever they need to, and then once in a while they'll suddenly bring some weird thing that they like. Suddenly, it's really deceitful because if you're going to be the kind of people that like align yourself politically in some way and you just want to keep blabbing about it, at least be honest about it. But to try to sort of present yourself as neutral and then from time to time to do, sometimes this is kind of a passive aggressive thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, if Sydney Sweeney, I didn't see this movie, okay, and I'll watch it. But if, let's say, Sydney Sweeney gave an Academy Award winning performance and Seafried was like crappy, this would still be their headline. They're in no way genuine about what they write. They do this time and time again. I remember there have been a number of occasions like this, and then there have been times that suddenly they write something like they try to convince, you know, all the people that follow them to sign some petition that has to do with like watermelons and things like that. And then they also make it so that you can't comment on their tweet. I've just seen them once in a while. Like they don't do it every second, but once in a while they pop up with their little bullshit. And I've never really liked them. You know, the only reason they're even a thing, the reason they exist, is because the previous regime of Twitter was like, you know, boosting them. They
Yeah.
were boosted by the previous regime because they did all the check marks that the previous regime needed. They were always here to shill for all the studios. They were always here with the right politics that previous regime liked. And as opposed to somebody like me that they would shadow ban every second, discussing film would get like the royal treatment. And that's how like they started off just like, you know, doing whatever they do and ended up with so many followers. And then at the end, like, you know, Elon took over and they already had a lot of followers, so they kind of like, you know, they didn't lose their followers. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm saying is that if they started a new company today and tried to do this on Twitter, they'd probably get nowhere. And the reason they exist is because of all their shilling and all their political agenda peddling that was very pleasant for the previous regime, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't think very much of them. That's all I can tell you.
No, neither do I. Yeah.
I always say the same thing about them, and I always think that. By the way, somebody said something about Don Lemon. I saw him like cursing Trump today. It's like sitting around and cursing, I guess because of the Rob Reiner thing. Now, I mean, to be fair, I really don't think that Trump handled the Rob Reiner thing well, but Don Lemon is just like, you know, for on the other hand, a useless idiot. I mean, what does he even do?
Oh,
Like, just sits around. He's
he
just
yeah, he makes like a podcast now. Like that's Don Lemon. Yeah.
Don Lemon is the stupidest guy because
Uh,
initially Elon Musk made a deal with him that he would get like $5 million a year
Yeah.
for posting his stupid videos here. And then like he did an interview with Elon Musk that he was like talking shit to him and he thought that Elon Musk wouldn't cancel his agreement. Don Lemon, if nothing else, is the dumbest person. He is absolutely an idiot.
Mhm.
And don't let anybody fool you. I don't think he's making that $5 million anywhere else. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think
No.
that him doing that to Elon Musk was like a good business. Forget about it on the personal level. It wasn't a good business decision. You have to be an idiot that somebody made a deal to pay you millions of dollars and you want to sit and embarrass him. It's like you have to be a fucking idiot, professor.
Seems like it. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember what happened, but basically I guess he sat there and he started talking to Elon about some like, you know, some medication or some psychiatrist gave him. And he's like, if you're taking this medication, how are you going to run a company? Like, aren't your investors going to be worried because you're taking all this medication? Like, nobody can trust you, or whatever he was saying. And it's like, dude, you're such a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, it depends. If you don't care and you're not looking to make $5 million, then by all means ask the person about the medication that his doctor gave him and continue to bother him about his investors and about his medication. But you have to be some kind of stupid to do that. And then when Elon Musk fired him, he's like, I can't believe Elon Musk fired me. It's like, dude, you are a fucking idiot.
Mhm.
Like, probably he could have probably asked Elon Musk anything else and probably would have been an issue. And what did he really get out of it? What's the big scoop here? You know what I mean? Like, what did he get? What was his big win here?
I really don't know. You know, there's plenty of them out there. There's him. There's Joy Reid, like Joyless Reid, really.
They sometimes do things together these days.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
Like, and they're both just a joke. it's you know, like if I wanted to read that kind of, you know, their kind of nonsense, there's plenty of other websites out there that are better at it than they are. You know, hardcore leftist websites out there posting truly absurd stuff. Uh, it's it's mind blowing. Yeah.
So I have another super chat here from Karate Werewolf that I want to pull up. Let's see for a second. So we have for 199. I guess I can't see it well. Let me. Did you see the Animal Farm remake? What the fuck? Sorry, Sean. Yeah, there's a trailer for that Animal Farm movie
Oh
that they made. The weird
God.
thing the weird thing is that Angel Studios, I guess, is the distributor for it. But when you look at it, it looks like some weird commie woke version of it. That they're saying that like communism is great and it has Seth Rogen in it. How
No,
did
it's
this all end?
they've changed it. So the original story is that the you know the you learn the evils of the communism of the
Right,
socialist
exactly.
structure that they have there, that in reality it is not that well, it starts out, it's like, oh well, you know, if we all share and everyone works together, then we're all going to be, but except that then there's people, they're pigs, that are in charge, and then they start taking liberties, start doing things and start saying, well, you know, well, we're actually in charge of this, of all of these workers, so we get extra privileges. So, you know, oh, everyone's equal, but some animals are more equal than others, right? And so over time, you start to see that there is inherent in that system of communism a corruption that you cannot get rid of. It is part of the way that this system works, because an economy, everything, it all works on incentives, and the incentive is for them to abuse the system. And so it all breaks down, it falls apart. So now this ridiculous piece of garbage is trying to instead tell this story and make capitalism the bad guy. Make capitalism the bad thing in this story. I have no idea why it is that Angel Studios is releasing this. This is I don't get it. Uh, this seems so totally counter to so much stuff that they produced, and it is going to be an albatross around their necks. This is a disaster waiting to happen, and man, uh no, I have no interest in seeing this whatsoever. Of course, it stars well, it's being directed by Andy Serkis, right? But I know it stars Seth Rogen as one of the main characters. Like, ugh. I have been told about numerous projects. People have said, "Oh, this is great. I love this you know, this project with Seth Rogen in it." And I say, "Oh, Seth Rogen's in it. No, thank you." Like, I just I can't stand the guy. He's terrible. But man, oh, this is going to be a huge bomb.
I'm
And Angel movies
surprised.
don't normally make that much money. You know, they usually have a pretty limited audience, but they make small movies, and you know, they do relatively well
I think they were
among their
brought in as a
audience.
distributor, but it's such
That
a
I think they're
strange.
just the distributor. I think you're right. There's other groups that are producing it. Specifically, they're getting a lot of money from Canada. This is mostly funded by Canadian
This is
groups
so
that are
weird, and
making this.
the thing is, I actually, I've met some people from Angel back in the day, and uh, I usually I actually have a pretty good impression of them. So I'm surprised they got involved in this thing. It almost seems uncharacteristic of them. I don't know
Yeah.
why would they want anything to do with this. This looks terrible. The commercial, and I just hear Seth
Oh yeah.
Rogen, and it's already annoying. You know,
You
so annoying.
just have to
Yeah.
listen to his stupid laugh. Ugh.
His laugh is so annoying. I don't know how he
Oh yeah.
got away with it.
He is so annoying. I really you know, like there were a couple of like early like Judd Apatow movies or whatever. It was kind of funny, and then like I realized that it's just the same shtick every time. He's just this annoying asshole, like in every film ever.
I
I
think that the best thing he did was actually like his first movie, which was a 40-year-old virgin,
Yeah,
where he basically you see him and Paul Rudd playing off each other. That was
yeah.
probably his best work. Like his best work to date was that thing.
Back when they insisted that he play a character, not just be himself all the time.
Right.
And now it's just like be yourself 100% of the time, and oh god, he's annoying.
I'm trying to think, like, back in the day when for the first time, a long time ago, I watched like Pineapple Express with him and James Franco. I didn't hate it, but it's not like, like today, I probably couldn't even enjoy even the few movies that I've seen him in the past and didn't hate because he's so annoying at this point that I just seeing him on screen would kind of give me incentive to stop watching. That's also the reason why I tried to watch that studio show, that Hollywood supposedly satire, whatever, that they always like kiss his ass. I watched a few episodes. First of all, I thought it was annoying and overrated, but at the same time, like he is absolutely the worst thing about that show. Like I just don't enjoy seeing him.
Which show was this?
It's called The Studio. Makes
Oh
kind of
yeah,
fun
it's
of the
The
Hollywood
Apple one.
system.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a minute ago. Yeah, I wondered if you had watched any of that.
I watched a few episodes. There were some interesting cameos. It wasn't like it was watchable, but really he's annoying and the show I still think the show was overrated. Cuz on one hand it's like look, like we're Hollywood and we're laughing at each other. We're laughing at ourselves or whatever it is. But it's like this kind of laughing at ourselves in a controlled environment, if you know what I mean.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just laughing at themselves enough for this to be like, mildly them poking fun of themselves, but stops short of really going all in certain places.
Hmm.
Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's safe. It's like it's
Yeah.
just enough to
Yeah.
seem like you're edgy, but not really going and being as edgy as you could be. Anyhow, how did we get here? I don't know. Let's see.
Just we were talking about Animal Farm, and then talking about
Animal Farm, yes.
and then talking about Angel Studios and
Which
Seth Rogen being
surprising.
Animal
I still
Farm. Yeah.
like Angel Studios. I don't know what the deal is here with this distribution, but I
Yeah.
generally like
The,
them. What was I gonna say? What's the other thing? Oh, okay.
uh, just say Animal Farm was not something that needed to be remade. There's an excellent animated version of it that was made back in the 80s.
I've watched it
Go
many
back and
years
watch it.
ago. Actually
Go
read a
back.
book and I watched
Yeah.
that animated thing you're saying many years ago, but I haven't watched it in a while, I admit it. But
Yeah.
this doesn't look
Yeah.
good, this new one. So I saw this movie, by the way. It hasn't come out yet. I saw it in an early screening. It's called Song Sung
Yeah.
Blue, and it has Hugh Jackman in it, and it has Kate Hudson. And this is more of a smaller indie type of movie. It's apparently somewhat based on a true story, where there was a guy and a lady who sort of became a couple, and they built an act that they kind of did these Neil Diamond, sort of like a Neil Diamond tribute band or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and this is sort of a movie about them. Now, I'm a musician, so generally speaking, things about music and musicians, even struggling musicians, are things that I like. But when I saw the commercials for this, I wasn't too excited. One of the reasons is that I don't think that Neil Diamond is a bad musician. There's a few songs of his that I like, but I don't like his catalog that much that I get excited about listening to Neil Diamond songs over and over again throughout a movie. Uh, Again, I think he's talented. I just don't. I guess what I'm saying is that I would have probably enjoyed it more if the music they were playing was something that I enjoyed more. Maybe then you're like, well, this is kind of cool. If it was like more edgy alternative rock or something, would have been maybe happier. But with the whole thing with Neil Diamond, it was just like all right. Uh, Also, like, I feel like there was something a bit manipulative about this movie. Like, there's certain moments it wants to pull at your heartstrings, certain moments that it wants to make you laugh, certain moments it wants to do one thing or another, and it's almost too clinical at times. But With all of that being said, I will say this: Hugh Jackman gives a really good performance. Hugh Jackman, you could tell, is really into this role. He plays a guy who was like a Vietnam vet that, due to his things in Vietnam, and ended up making him an alcoholic. But in the part that we see him in the movie that we're introduced to him, he's managed to overcome all of that, and he's basically sort of a struggling musician. He meets like Kate Hudson. They kind of fall in love and get married and all this stuff. And then they do this kind of Neil Simon tribute band. And there's a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of things that happen in the movie. Some are like, pleasant, some are downers. But at the end of the day, I think Hugh Jackman totally, totally nails this role. One of the better roles outside of Wolverine. This has to be one of the best roles I've seen Hugh Jackman do. And he's singing the songs, and he's very charismatic. He's doing a lot of good things here. I think that he does a fine job. Kate Hudson is an actress that I've never really been very excited about. And I don't know why I've never been really sold on her, but I think that actually in this movie, she probably gives like a career best performance. She has to sing, she has to like be happy, sad, ups and downs. And I think that overall, I think she does a pretty darn good job. And I will say this is that it's been a long time since I saw a movie that show like a man and woman that are sort of like into each other and working together. Yeah, they have problems here and there and things happen like that, but it wasn't any I didn't feel that they did that kind of woke shit, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they like each other and they're in a couple. Like I didn't feel like they were doing that thing that annoys me with Hollywood. The other thing is that she has a few children, he has a girl, from previous marriages, but they show him as actually a very kind of even though he's not rich and even though he's like an artist and all that stuff, he takes his responsibility even over these like kids that are not his biological kids, takes that like very seriously. There's moments that he kind of steps up as something of a father figure, and it's not done like it's not done in this kind of cynical shitty way. It was actually refreshing to see. I didn't feel like they went out of their way to like humiliate him or embarrass him, because today, even if it's a biopic, even if it's based on the true story, if it's a false story, if it's a true story, if it's whatever it is, whatever the genre, it could be murder mystery, it could be comic book, it could be sci-fi, whatever the fuck it is, they will put that same thing in there where the man is stupid and all the women are great. And I feel like they didn't do that. They let him have his moments, and there were things that I thought would happen in the movie. I'm like, oh, they're gonna make him a bum here. They didn't do it, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, this isn't a movie that's. It's just a movie that's here to tell this story. It's not coming here to lecture you about politics or any weird like ideologies or propaganda. None of that. And with two really charming lead performances, I and a movie that's probably not doesn't seem like very expensive to make. I overall walk away from it with a decent feeling. It may not be for everybody, but I at least was somewhat pleasantly surprised by it. It's not the best movie ever, but I'm saying like for whatever it is, it's all right if
Yeah.
you're into that sort of thing. I suppose that if you like Neil Diamond, then it's really all right.
Just love you some of that Neil Diamond. Yeah.
Neil Diamond, yeah. So that's that movie. It hasn't been released to theaters. I am one of the first people. I don't want to say I'm one of the first people to have seen it, but I saw an early screening, so I was able to bring that information. And yeah,
What Neil Diamond songs do you sing in karaoke? Price?
none. Well, you know which ones I would sing? I don't mind the song "I'm a Believer." I think that's a
Okay.
decent song. That's like a classic. All that other stuff, all that like Sweet Caroline or whatever, not really my scene. I actually, I don't prefer that song. Like Sweet Caroline, I understand that people like singing it together and it's like a big deal in public or whatever it is. I'm not a big fan of the song. It comes off as kind of cheesy and annoying to me. I'm not taking away from Neil Diamond. It's a song that's made him a lot of money over the years. It must be good because people like it, or it's good for somebody. But just not, I don't prefer it.
Yeah, I'm not one of my favorites.
It's kind of cheesy, you know what I mean? But with
Yeah.
all of that being said, I thought that this movie did have merit. I think that with Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson's performance, at least they certainly raise the score of the movie just with their presence and what they do here to a level that it's like an acceptable low budget movie that does whatever it needs to do.
You get
Not
more of
spectacular, but acceptable.
you get a lot of Hugh Jackman singing in this, I assume.
You do, but
Yeah.
it's a combination. You get him singing, but he's also kind of this guy who, like, really excited about being a musician. He sort of walks around. I actually, like I said, I think he gives a good performance here, and even Kate Hudson, surprisingly. I don't know why I wasn't a fan of Kate Hudson. She hasn't done anything bad to me. Just kind of always been lukewarm about Kate Hudson, but I did like what she did in this movie. Maybe after all these years, I've been converted into
Mm.
not disliking Kate Hudson. I didn't
Not sure I've
dislike her.
ever
No, I didn't dislike her, but you know what I mean.
not sure I've ever really bought Hugh Jackman as much of a singer. He's done a few movies when he's sung in it. He did was The Greatest Show or whatever, that was one. He was unfortunately he was part of the miserable pun intended
Right.
miserable Les Miserables film that was done, which was such an injustice because I do love the Les Miserables musical, and I was so deeply disappointed by that movie.
I suffered.
Um,
I suffered watching that movie, Professor. I've never
Yeah.
really been a big fan of Les Miserables anyways, but in any case, I watched that movie and I suffered. What was the other? Oh, here I'll tell you what I think. And I saw The Greatest Showman and suffered as well. But what I'll say is this: I think that the thing in this movie is the songs, whatever he's doing with Neil Diamond or whatever it is, it doesn't require the type of vocal capabilities you need for like a movie like Les Miserables or whatever it is. Like you
Yeah.
don't. It's not that kind of movie. I think that actually these songs didn't demand that kind of performance of him, which is why I think it was more in his wheelhouse. Do you get what I mean?
Sure.
The songs that you see him sing here are very simple, a lot more simple, a lot of the ones. So, maybe if you needed him to do opera, he's not going to be that dude. But like for doing these kind of holding a guitar and doing these kind of more folky, I don't know, Neil Diamond, whatever, it's fine. It didn't. I thought that would bother me, but that actually didn't bother me. Like I said, there's moments that are even like a bit charming or heartfelt or whatever it is. But the movie sometimes feels manipulative, trying to manipulate your feelings maybe a bit too much. It's competently made. It's a low budget. It's at least like a somewhat decent movie. Not the best I've ever seen, but not terrible.
All right.
I'm not saying people should run to the theater and watch it unless they're like diehard Neil Diamond fans, but maybe in streaming it'll make a little more sense. Who knows? We'll see what happens with it.
Might work.
What
Ugh.
else do we got on our
I don't know.
docket?
Now I can't stop thinking about that terrible version of Les Miserables.
I see.
Oh, so frustrating because yeah, I do enjoy the musical. I saw it many years ago when it was touring, not long after it had done its Broadway showing, and really loved it. Fell in love with it then. I know some people think it's kind of popcorn as far as theater goes, but I really do enjoy Les Miserables, and I was so disappointed by that film version of it. The direction was all wrong, and the casting was a real mess. It was all over the place. Some of the casting was excellent. I didn't mind Hugh Jackman so much. I thought he did pretty fine. Actually, Anne Hathaway blew me away doing her part. Incredible singing.
I think her singing was
But
good from what I remember.
yes, her singing was fantastic. She was one of the best performances in there. But then there were lots of others. Like Amanda Seyfried was one that was in there, and I thought her singing was just
How
not
about
good at
Russell
all.
Crowe?
Russell Crowe brought the whole film to a screeching halt every time he had to sing. I like Russell Crowe. I'm not gonna lie. I like him. I think I think he's delivered a lot of good performances, some fun performances. I think he seems like a pretty based, pretty cool guy. I'd like to hang out and have a beer with him or something, you know? Like, but he was not the right choice for that character. Although I know he likes to sing, he kind of he sings in like a band, his own band or whatever. He did not have the range that he needed for that character. And so when you ended
Making
up
music, making songs, and fighting around the world. That's what I always think of that when he sings.
I know. But no, he did not have the range to sing that. And so you ended up with this. The same with a lot of the characters. They ended up just sort of like like sing talking, like they're just sort of putting a note on top of them just talking. I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but it was kind of weird because they lost a lot of the really solid musical bits to people just sort of talking to each other in a sing-song way. And there were some fun performances in the film, but man, overall, just such a bummer for me. I wanted it to be so much better than it was, but
Well, you can't win them all, I guess.
you can't. What else did you have, Price?
I think the next thing on our docket is that there was a rumor that Lanterns, James Gunn's Green Lantern show, is going to be woke.
Oh no.
I take this with a grain of salt.
I kind of figured this one out a long time ago, but that's just me.
So what happened was, let me see if I can find it. Shout out. I mean, Cosmic Book News reported on it. I will say this, even though I understand that they saw the leaks. I went to see where this leak was posted. You never know with these kind of posts. Somebody going to some forum and read it. You never know. Although sometimes it does end up being true, and like you never really know. I'm not dismissing it. I know that somebody posted that and people were reading it today, and I don't know. But the one thing I'll say is that, supposedly the rumors is that it's a more kind of, oh, I didn't share it. Hold on. Supposedly the rumor is that the show is more of a gritty, more grounded, more gritty. You don't see even like a lot of stuff with the ring. It's a lot more like toned down. Supposedly there's only one ring and they have to share it or something.
Yeah, that doesn't make
know.
any damn sense at all. Because that's not how the ring works.
Yeah, I don't really know. But the thing that in this supposed leak is all this stuff is regular fluff. They're saying, oh, the they don't look like Green Lanterns either.
Yeah.
They look medieval or something like that.
They don't look like Green Lanterns. So here's the thing, just that picture right there. I saw that picture, Price. And I said, okay, we got Jon Stewart, we got Hal Jordan. I am, by the way, mentioned before, kind of a Green Lantern fan. I've read a ton of the Green Lantern comics. I love the character of Hal Jordan. I like the character of Jon Stewart, too. But here's the thing. I'm looking at this picture, and what I see is Jon Stewart. Okay, he's supposed to be an ex-military guy, an engineer. We got Hal Jordan. He's supposed to be an ex-military guy. He was a pilot. He was fearless. I see black man got his shit together. Sorry, Sean. And then we got white man over here on the other side who looks like a homeless man. He looks like he's a broken down old man. But of course, he's the white guy. So he's got to be this broken down old, oh, I'm too old for this shit, whatever kind of guy. And the black man is going to have to come back and help him get his mojo back or help him, win the day or something like that.
Or something else is going to happen. Hal Jordan is going to die, and
I'm certain he's going to die.
He's going to die and give his ring to Jon Stewart, who's going to be the awesome one that takes the ring.
You were always a better Lantern than I was.
You're a
Go
better
get him,
no, it'll be like
John.
this. You're a better lantern than I could ever be.
You're a better lantern than I could ever been. Go out there and save the
Take the
world.
ring.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw just this screenshot and I thought this show is screwed because that is not who Hal Jordan is supposed to be. I don't mind if they wanted to do a singular show. They wanted to make Jon Stewart the Green Lantern in that show. That's fine. They did that with the Justice League cartoons, and I didn't care. Even though Hal Jordan, I prefer the character of Hal Jordan. I don't mind the character of Jon Stewart, and he can stand on his own. He's his own character. This is one of those great, examples where they have created a character who is black and they have their own personality. They don't have to borrow it from a white character. They don't have to be a race swap or something, right?
Right.
They built the character of Jon Stewart with his own history and his own personality and his own quirks and differences and stuff like that. And even in the comics, as they carried it forward, they had more opportunities to show more differences between them, why they were who they were. And the same happened later on when they had Kyle Rayner and they brought him, and they gave him all of these different things about him that made him who he was and the type of lantern that he was. All of that, like I'm fine with Jon Stewart. I don't care. Make a show about Jon Stewart. Like I said, they did in the animated Justice League shows. And he was great. He was a really enjoyable character, and they did a great job portraying him. But you don't have to give the finger to Hal Jordan. You don't have to make him some hobo who's lost the will to live, lost the will to fight, or whatever, to actually make this show work. And I just looking at this screenshot, that's what I think they're gonna do.
Well, based on people that have supposedly seen it, some kind of advanced screening or test screening or I don't know what, main thing, there's a lot of stuff here that says there's also other rumors, not only from the Reddit that I guess, I'll look at that in a second, but there's something, let me see for a second where the Professor, are you there?
I'm here.
I kind of disappeared, but I don't know why.
Still here.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Oh, your screen share disappeared.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here. Your frame
Something's
rate's
wrong.
dropped. Your frame rate has dropped a little bit. Maybe drop out and come back in.
I think my whole thing is stuck.
Uh-oh.
What am I going to do, Professor?
Don't know. Yeah, if you can drop out and come back in.
I feel like I'm stuck, Professor.
Have to crash your whole browser, shut down the whole browser.
Hold on one second.
All
I'll
right.
be right back.
Okay, he'll be right back. Yeah, I just have not had a good feeling about this Lanterns thing from the start. Like I said, just James Gunn and where he's been going with various different things, and DC and where they've been going with things, and just overall Hollywood. I just feel like it's they're gonna do something to try and make it so that the white man, Hal Jordan, is gonna end up being a failure, a loser, whatever. I just feel like that's what's happening with these characters, and I don't know why they have to do that. Why do you have to bring down a legacy character to boost up another character? Right? Yeah, it's like, we've got to give the finger to Luke Skywalker to make our new fake female version of Luke Skywalker look more awesome. Right? No. Like, just make Rey a good character instead. I don't know. Maybe that's just a bridge too far. Can't do that. I don't know. Oh, I'm not. I see your mouth moving, Price, but I don't hear you. I think you're muted. Nope, still muted. Oh, somebody was asking about the sorry Sean thing. Okay, so it's a long running a long running gag on the show. So Sean Crummell is here occasionally. Sometimes he's around, sometimes he's not. He's always invited to the show though. He just has a job that keeps him busy in the evenings. Um early on in the show, we'll explain it one more time while Price is figuring out his issues. uh, early on in the show, Price used to do this with Dread Roberts, and Dread Roberts doesn't like to swear on stream. I don't really like to swear on stream either. I will occasionally, but Dread Roberts really didn't like it. So whenever Price would swear, he would apologize to Dread for for the swearing. So later on, this sort of it evolved one thing after Dredd had a lot of life changes, and so he kind of couldn't do the show anymore. That I had been here a couple of times and kind of stepped in and ended up just being the new co-host. And Sean is here occasionally, and we started sort of going back and forth and apologizing to each other for swearing just as a joke. And then when Sean couldn't be around, as his life changed and he couldn't be around, we just started apologizing to Sean because he wasn't here. So it just rolled from there. We moved forward, and after a while, it's stuck, and we all now, anytime we swear, we just apologize to Sean, even though he's not around, and even though he doesn't care if we swear, we still do it, and it's funny. Are you back with us, Bryce?
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. It works now? It's all fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can see the shared screen and everything. Yeah.
So here, grounded tone with a political edge. The thing with Sean is that now you have situations that even on other streams that have nothing to do with us, sometimes somebody will curse and say, "Sorry, Sean."
Sorry, Sean.
And that's funny. That's funny. That's better than 6,
It's
7,
it's it's
7, or whatever the little kids like.
it's expanded to other things,
Expanded. It's
other
much
places.
better. So you have Hal Jordan's suit takes a medieval turn, fully practical and highly detailed, black, green, and white with gold accents, described as medieval and strange, intentionally unlike past comic or film designs. I don't know how much I like that.
It
Notably,
makes
there's
him. It sounds like he's a relic, is what it sounds like.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
notably there's very little ring usage shown in the footage, suggesting the show may downplay classic Green Lantern constructs in favor of realism. Don't know what I think about that either. I don't know what Injustice is. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have some context. Hal's suit is also compared to an alternate Injustice suit.
Yes, Injustice was a video game, actually 2 video games, where Hal Jordan was one of the characters in there. He had a very different suit than the more traditional. Well, of course, if you go back, to Silver Age, the traditional suit was just the spandex, right? Then later on, it evolved. It got more texture, and then there were other ones that had sort of more of an armor look to it. But if you looked at the suit in, let's see, I can show you one here of his suit in Injustice. Actually, I have an action figure of his Injustice suit.
Let's see it.
But here, let's see if I can find a good picture of the armor from Injustice. Man, there are just like no good pictures.
You
Here
have
we
an
go.
action figure with a suit?
Oh, I it's in a box somewhere right now. I don't have it, but here's a.
You're playing with it as we speak.
You know I am. It's fine. So here's his armor from Injustice 2. The
That
one
doesn't
from
really look
Injustice,
medieval. I don't know why
the
they're
one from
saying
the
that.
first Injustice was a little more. No, that's Injustice 2. Like I said, it's more of like an alternate. It would be an alternate version of. There's the original. That one's the one that he wore in the first Injustice game.
I
So
see.
I don't know if they're saying that it's a little more. Maybe it looks a little bit more like plate armor or something.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, all of the Injustice stuff is supposed to happen in an alternate reality. So I don't know.
Uh,
There's
well, in any case, another thing that I
Yeah.
guess they're going for here, according to what the leaks supposedly are, is that I don't know if this is true or not, but the bad guys are right wing people.
Well, of course they are. Because those are the only bad guys that it's okay to be to use in current
And you know,
projects.
the
Yeah.
thing is that it could be just a rumor and all that stuff, but when you look at Peacemaker and what James Gunn did with that, it wouldn't be like a stretch of the imagination to think that they would make it that like right wing people are bad or whatever, or whoever they would consider right wing extremist or whatever you want to call it. But most of the time, their idea of a right wing extremist is basically somebody that doesn't agree with everything they said. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how I went from being like a guy that's kind of a middle of the road centrist that doesn't even care about politics. It's like they
So-
they don't allow you, like you can only be what they are or else.
Yeah. So here I found this just real quick. So here's an alternate armor that looks more. See, it's got like the headpiece and everything. Looks like he's got a mask on, and a little more armor like. So maybe they're talking about something similar to that. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
And Istifo was mentioned it. Yeah, it was not just it was a game, but there was also a comic book line. That came
I
out
guess
along
more
with it.
rumors in this they're saying take with a grain of salt. Jon Stewart falls in love with the older Zoe Apurna Jagannathan, that her husband is a white conservative, which fits with new rumors above. I don't know. I mean, listen, at this point, in a perfect world, I say this is all
After
nonsense.
Peacemaker,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After Peacemaker, I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, this is probably going to happen. Like, otherwise, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But I can't think that. After Peacemaker, this seems more like it would make sense than it would not make sense, if you know what I mean. And then there's something about, that they turn, they think that maybe the whole idea is they're going to go to some place to investigate the death of Green Lantern Alan Scott. And in the past decade, DC Comics changed him to be a gay man.
yeah, they retconned him into being homosexual.
Right, so
yeah, it's complete garbage.
the rumor
Yeah, the
suggests
golden
that it's
age,
gonna be,
golden age Green Lantern was not.
of
gay.
course, but like if the rumors are correct, they're gonna make it so they came to the middle America to investigate the death of a gay man. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Amongst right wing weirdos, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
I don't know. Listen, it's funny
Sigh.
because if you would have told me this a few years ago, I would say, well, somebody may have just, leaked something that's just they made it up. But I'm not 100% sure this is made up. Like we
Yeah.
live in a situation where now you say that, and if it turned out to be true, I wouldn't be shocked.
It sounds very believable. Let's say
Which
it
is
that way.
strange, but it does sound very believable. By the way, we hadn't gone into games and stuff. Do you have anything interesting with gaming
Oh.
going on?
No, not anything in particular, not that I've seen. Don't know if I'd I looked, I saw most of what I saw today were I mean, not, it wasn't even video game stuff. Saw a lot of discussions of Disclosure Day. Did you see the little trailer for this new Spielberg film?
Oh yeah, I did. You can show that. I did.
You want me to pop it up and take a look?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah. So
Cool.
there's a
Yeah,
lot
let's
of
look
I
at it.
saw a lot of discussion of this today. So I don't know how many people have seen the trailer for this yet, but I don't know. I'm not sure what to think yet. Because truth is, although I respect Spielberg, incredible talent. Recently, I just don't know that there's all that much that's been all that interesting from him. But anyway,
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, listen, there doesn't seem to be something groundbreaking about it, but I will say this. Steven Spielberg, one of the reasons why he hasn't been, really impressing us in I don't know how many years is that he's been doing these type of things like passion projects, like he's doing West Side Story, which I couldn't give a shit about. The Fablemans, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. It didn't really, pique my interest. Maybe at some point if it came on TV or something, I'd watch it, but it's not really my thing. Even when you think of stuff like Bridge of Spies and whatever it is, I feel like for years Steven Spielberg hasn't really. It's movies that are probably fine. It's just like his wheelhouse is this kind of thing with like aliens and mystery and science fiction or whatever it is. These things are really like in his wheelhouse. So if nothing else, he's going back to make a movie within the style of movies that he seemingly excels at. Now, yeah, he's not 20 years old, and I don't know if he has fresh ideas or if he has something to contribute, but I'm hopeful that if nothing else, it's at least mildly entertaining and doesn't suck.
Mildly entertaining and doesn't suck.
I'm hoping that it's at least okay. You know what I mean? If it'll be okay, I'll be relatively happy. I just don't want it to be like embarrassingly bad, but if it's pretty decent, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Price of reason on the scene. Mildly entertaining, doesn't suck. No, yeah, that I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. Again,
I'll watch it. Why
like you
not?
said, this is Spielberg back in his wheelhouse, right?
Right.
He's back doing the stuff that we kind of want to see from him. Not
Exactly. Yes.
not ridiculous, remade music be remade. Not weird projects about his own life or whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of back to what we want to see from him. So, yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot.
I see that people in the Rumble chat are talking about their use of toilet paper. Really interesting stuff. In any case, what was I going to say? There was something else I wanted to. Oh, okay. Wait, there's something else I have. Super chat that I needed to get to. Give me a second. Am I on the right microphone, by the way?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay. No, because I exited.
I, on the other hand, have a nosebleed. So if I sound a little funny, it's because.
Oh no.
It's the season. Oh, it's the season for it. Very dry.
I see. Well, we have super chat, so let's look at it. It is from the dead man. He says, "I'm out. Price and R2. Sorry, Sean, but he was just here. I saw him a second ago. Oh well." Thank you very much, the dead man. Thank you for tonight in general. You've been very generous and hasn't gone unnoticed.
Very generous.
So let's think. Was there anything else on our docket?
Yeah, I think that was just about it.
Well, let's see for a second if there's anything. Let me check for a second if there's anything that I missed. Sometimes I save stuff that I want to. Oh yeah, now I know. They had all these leaked trailers today.
Oh,
did you notice that?
Yeah, the only leaked trailer that I've seen in the last day or two was the one for Doomsday.
Right, but then they leaked like the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. I'm not going to show any of this stuff.
No, I hadn't heard about that one yet.
I'm not going to show any of this stuff because we can get in trouble. But generally speaking, when it comes to the Doomsday one, You had one trailer that was just basically you see Steve Rogers as Captain America, and then he's like coming home where he lives with Peggy Carter, and he's holding a
Yes, and
baby, and it says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. It's really a nothing, it's
yeah,
not much to go by that trailer, but the whole idea is that they tried to make this whole Captain Falcon thing the replacement for Captain America. And at this point, it's funny when they know they need the money, they're like, fuck it, let's just bring back Chris Evans.
yep, yep.
Just bring him back. So there's that. And then in addition, apparently there was another trailer that I don't know if this is leaked or people have seen it or somebody's writing about it, that there's some other trailer with like Thor and Loki. Not 100% sure what happens in
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that's the second of the Doomsday teasers. Dude.
Right, so you have that one, and then today you had, like, Spider-Man Brand New Day leak, and, again, it's very poor resolution, it's somebody, like, filming a screen that's filming a screen or whatever it is. I never
Yeah.
understand that, like, if you're already gonna be if you're already gonna do such an endeavor, aren't can't you just film it in a way that doesn't look like it's, like, from a toilet bowl, you know what I mean? Like, why can't you I'm not encouraging whoever's leaking these trailers, but couldn't they have done a bit of a better job?
Yeah, I don't. It's definitely meant to give you the impression that it's being recorded on the sly.
Do you think it's all planned that they're doing this on purpose?
I don't know, because I'll tell you this: Marvel is desperate at this point. Uh, they should be. They should be desperate. Doomsday cost them a lot of money, and they pretty desperately need that movie to bring in some, a big audience. And so they I think they're going to pull every trick in the book that they can to bring people in to Doomsday, because it is we may find out in the end this movie or these two movies together are the most expensive films ever made.
I would think they're gonna
And
cost a lot of money.
right now, the potential, right? Like the number of different films that have recently come out in this genre have performed very poorly compared to what was expected. You can say what you want about Superman 2025. If you think it made its budget or it didn't, I'm not convinced it made it back its budget in the theaters. But whatever you say, oh, it was 600, whatever. That studio was expecting that movie to break $1 billion. It did.
For sure.
They were. I guarantee you, before that movie came out, they were counting on Superman to break the $1 billion mark, and it didn't even come close.
Let's put it this way. Maybe due to the situation with the box office and reality today, if they would have done something between 800 to $1 billion, maybe they would have preferred $1 billion. But if it was 850 or 900, I think they still would have
They
considered
still
that a
would have been
win.
cool with it. It still would have been
Yeah, they
fine.
would have
But
been like, okay, this is a
yeah,
good start. This is a good starting point. If James Gunn would have been like, and not only that, if James Gunn's movie had like 800, 900, 850, 900, whatever million, you and I also wouldn't be saying it's a flop. Like I'd say, yeah, I mean, they probably spent a whole lot more money that they're admitting, and I don't know if it's the biggest success, but at least I don't think anybody would argue that they, lost miserably on it. It would be considered overall a win. With
yeah,
$615 million, the constant trying to sell this story that it was a huge success is nonsense. And I mean, it's fine if people want to believe that nonsense, they can. But it's just strange because there's people amongst us that we've been calling out these studios for years and dissecting everything they do and analyzing it. And suddenly, there's some people just for the sake of enjoying this movie or whatever it is, they're willing to just cloud their judgment and accept things that they would never accept in any other situation. If you know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like
And
we
so,
would
well,
scrutinize.
yeah. Yeah, we'd tear these movies apart, tear the budgets apart for all these different films, and then suddenly this one we're like arguing that it's fine, that it didn't make the money that it should have. It's weird. But anyway, what I was saying was basically this whole genre has been struggling to make actual money. The kind of money that they depend on for these outrageous budgets. And the budget for Doomsday is the most outrageous budget. It is insanely expensive. And if they get the kind of turnout that, let's say, what the best performing superhero film of last year, Superman, if they get 650 million, they're going to lose that much. You know what I mean? They're going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars if that's all they get at the theaters. For the amount of money that they have put in, they have to break $1 billion. And I'll say this: I don't think there's a chance in hell. I don't think they're even going to get to 700 million. In fact, I think they're probably not even going to get to 600. I think a lot of people have given up on the MCU. And I think this movie is going to be a bomb. The early reviews are going to come out. There's going to be all the usual shill stuff. It's amazing. It's the best. And then the general audience has just checked out of the MCU. The last 5 years have been an absolute failure. And people just don't care about the MCU anymore like they did. It is not the same franchise from the days of Infinity War and Endgame. They're not going to bring over $1 billion worth of business into the movie theater. It's just not going to happen. So they are desperate, though, to try and win people back, bring people back to the theaters. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's any chance. Doesn't matter how much they put into it. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
what
mean,
was
now
so what
what
was
people think, at least some people think, that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey,
yeah.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
that's what some people are saying.
I'm gonna say this, even though initially, like, the character's introduction, Max, and it's already probably like 50 years ago on Stranger Things, initially that they didn't really know what to do with that character. I will say that over the past few years, Sadie Sink, out of those child actors that kind of grew up, she stands out as a pretty decent actress. Meaning, I think that on that show, I think that Millie Bobby Brown is a good actress. I think that Sadie Sink is a pretty good actress, and I don't think she's going to be terrible in whatever role they give her. I don't think she's bad. So I'm not upset about it. I don't really know. I'd have to see what the screenplay is like, but I don't really have anything against the actress. From what I heard, and I heard the audio of the brand new. First of all, the clip that you see from Spider-Man: A Brand New Day is only like 50 seconds long, but I was able to find a place where all of this is already gone. But I was able to find a place that had the entire trailer audio, so I only saw like half the video, but the rest I heard audio, and I could hear Banner, and I could hear the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
So it really seems legit. It seems like that's what the trailer is. I don't know if the movie is going to be good or not, but I'm hopeful that at least Spider-Man: Brand New Day isn't going to be a complete disaster. Really
Yeah,
hopeful.
the Spider-Man films have been pretty consistently solid. Some of them have been real standouts. Others have just been, enjoyable films. But yeah, I don't want to see a Spider-Man movie fail. I think if there's going to be one that fails, it's going to be this one. I'm not sure that the people behind the MCU can make a good movie anymore. but I don't know. We'll wait and see. Obviously, I'll give it a chance, just like anything else. And right now the track record for Superman's pretty good. Superman, sorry, Spider-Man. It's pretty good, but yeah, I don't know.
Caleb Levine says Millie Vanilli better than Millie Bobby. I don't even understand. I don't quite understand what that means, but okay. In any case, we have yet to see what happens. I wonder, it's either like they're doing it on purpose and releasing this bad quality stuff just to get people excited, and this is part of their marketing strategy, or this is really being done and they didn't intend for this to happen. If they didn't intend for this to happen, then they're really incompetent and stupid. And if they did intend for it to happen, well, don't really know what to tell you, but time will tell, I guess. Is there anything we didn't cover, Professor? Anything we missed?
No, yeah, we talked about a lot about the return of of Captain America, Steve Rogers in the one trailer. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, noisy people on social media getting all upset that if they, oh, you're bringing back Captain America and you're gonna be disrespecting, Anthony Mackie and his version of you're coming back and you're erasing him or whatever. It's like, I got news for you. Yeah, he might be Captain America, but he hasn't been a successful Captain America. He was in one TV show that was a just total identity politics mess. And then he was in a movie that's easily one of the worst films in the entire MCU.
Maybe ever made. And the fact that it cost about $500 million to make with the production and marketing, inexcusable. I don't remember another movie where so much money has been flushed down the toilet.
I mean, they basically filmed the movie twice.
Maybe even 3 times. And it is awful.
Yeah. And it's because, they kept trying to make a movie without a script. They were to, slapping it together, stitching it together from a bunch of different stuff that they shot at different times, different places, and scenes they were shooting without a script. There was stories coming out of the studio, coming out of the production of Anthony Mackie just losing it, being like, "What are we doing? We're shooting all these scenes. Where's the script? We don't have a script." Here's the thing. I do think that Anthony Mackie, I think he's a good actor.
I think he's a good actor too. I thought he was good as Sam Wilson. I didn't have any issue with him.
Yes, I enjoyed him as Sam Wilson. I enjoyed him as Falcon. He had some fun bits, some enjoyable lines. He played an important role in there. Yes, a sidekick role, but an important role in there. I liked him in that role, and I think he is a good actor. I think that it's incredibly disrespectful. These people that are saying, "Oh, well, you're getting rid of, you're going to erase the black Captain America, or, you're going to bring back the white Captain America." The black Captain America is an embarrassment. It's terrible, and that is the fault of Marvel. It's the fault of all the activists inside of Marvel, all their terrible writers, Kevin Feige, for instead of giving the Sam Wilson version of Captain America really good stories, really compelling, character beats and stuff to actually grow who that character was. He was just immediately, well, he's a black man, so now we have to make everything about race politics over and over and over again. And it's an absolute embarrassment. And that's Marvel's fault. That's not racists. That's not people who, didn't like his movies. And so, we're racist because we didn't like a black man as Captain America. I like Anthony Mackie, and I liked him fine in the role before. And if they had given him good stories, if they had done something with the character besides drag out, race politics into everything, then it's ridiculous. But yeah, why are they bringing back Steve Rogers? Pretty simple. That character was successful. People liked him as Captain America. People respected him in that role. And the truth is that since he left, since we had a bunch of the actors left their roles, the MCU has been consistently under delivering. It's been falling apart, and they're desperate to try and put the MCU back on track. So they have to try and bring back some of these characters.
By the way, I just wanted to show you this, that this was from the video that I made something about, like, the leaked Avengers Doomsday trailer. And just so you know, I just basically said that the Captain Falcon America movie didn't do well at the box office, and some weirdo came and wrote this message to me. He wrote, "Captain Falcon America, that really, really flopped." Oh, he was quoting me because I was saying that it was a big flop, basically. There's really no way around it. Captain Falcon America did flop.
It did.
It's not a lie. Like, there's really, it's not even like up for debate. And then he wrote, "You such a racist liar and a liar. Captain America cost less money and made more money than Thunderbolts and made more money proportional to its spend than Fantastic Four by a large margin." That is absolutely not true. That is absolutely not true. The one that lost the most money out of those three is Captain America, hands down. In fact, out of all three Marvel movies, Captain America was the least expensive and closest to profitability, with a high likelihood that it made a profit after its streaming revenue. It was Disney Plus's #1 streaming show for over a month. All of this is nonsense. It was the most expensive movie out of the three to make. It lost the most amount of money.
Oh,
And as far as what
yeah. Well, they want. Here's the thing: the shills want to argue that it had a reported production budget of only $180 million. They ignore the fact that the film was basically shot twice, if not 2.5,
possibly
three
three times.
That there is a massive overage in that budget for all the reshoots and everything that had to happen.
All the industry
So,
trades
yes,
know it. Everybody knows that there's overage.
all the people who are in the industry understand that no, this movie was closer to costing nearly $500 million, if not more, because of all of the reshoots and all the stuff that they had to do over and over again. So no, this was not a $180 million movie. It only made $414 million during its theatrical run.
And it needed to make at least $1 billion.
And it had to make a 900 to $1 billion to make back its money, at least.
Just to break even, yeah.
Yeah, just to break even. And so, no, yeah, if you believe it only cost $180 million. Yeah, it didn't. It cost way
more. No, everybody, I think this is not, everybody knows it cost more. And then it's
2 to
like,
3
you made it
times.
sound like it was the worst of the three movies when it was really clearly the best. Racist liars like you are disgusting. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I've been attracting such weird people recently.
Well, you don't like the right things. You're supposed to.
And all I
like
said, you know what? If you watch the thing, my main comment here was I just said that it flopped. It's like, I'm objectively speaking here. It didn't make money. I mean, I don't really know. Some people are just delusional.
Oh my God, 6.
What happened?
6 says, was Captain America's baby in the trailer white?
It was, yeah.
It was a white baby. Imagine that.
By the way, hold on. We have one more thing here. I noticed we had another super chat situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to share it. Hold on. So, Karate Werewolf has sent another 5 Price of Reason live gift memberships. Very kind of you, Karate Werewolf. It's really, really nice of you. Between you and the dead man, you guys really outdid yourselves today, and
Yeah, really appreciate it.
obviously means a lot to me. I don't bother people with stuff like that because I don't want to be like a PBS, but and I'm not upset if somebody doesn't do it. It's good as well, but people that do it, obviously, I really appreciate that. So, thank you, Karate Werewolf. Thank you, the Dead Man. If you're still around here, really kind of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
It is. So, yeah, I think that we've gone over all of our topics today. We should just, if you have the people that are on, I guess, Rumble, so I could say goodbye to them.
Oh, hold on. Too many characters. I'll have to split it up. Hold on.
And yeah, just to the general chat here, thanks for hanging out with us. You guys are cool. And people on Rumble, Phantom Monk, Citizen 42, Elizabeth Quince, Tommy B322, Sal the Hamster, Tim L T Bird, Pure Blood Based Berserker, Vidiot, B Hops 1, Istophobos, Birdhouse Blues, Brandon, is this my name? FJB, Timothy Tincliffe, Aldink, Loyish, Mastman Rants, Citizen 42, American Patriot 1133, Ever Eden, Double R Star, Smashin', Auto X, 6 is asking no pluribus, I want a refund. I haven't watched, I think, the final episode that just the last one. I don't think I watched. Are you up? Are you caught up on it, Professor?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Is it getting any better with that final episode?
Well, it wasn't the final episode yet. We've still got a few more.
Right, but I'm saying the last one that you saw.
The most recent. Yeah. All caught up. The most recent one came out last week, Thursday night, Friday, whatever. Yeah, it's I don't know. If you're somebody who felt like the show was really dragging and slow, this one is not going to convince you that it's not that. It has a lot of as someone pointed out on another stream, it's got a lot of important character moments in it, but the truth is it's another episode where you go for the whole hour and almost nothing happens. The biggest insight that you get is you get to spend some more time with the character from South America that we know is this other individual, right, that hasn't been absorbed.
Yeah, I
and
see.
At the end of the previous episode, he headed Manolo, I think is his name. He headed out in his car to head towards the United States.
I saw something that like some lady comes to talk to him and he's like, "You're not my mother. My mother was a bitch."
Yes. Yeah.
That was kind of good, I guess.
He's an interesting character. Yeah. He's like,
by the way, before I forget,
listen to your mother. You know, like, you're not my mom.
but before I forget, I wanted to say anybody that's watching here on Rumble, this is our kind of headquarters for the show on Rumble, which the show originated. And if you're watching here today and you're watching through the app, but you haven't yet signed up for Rumble, you should definitely do that. And if you do sign up, you should follow us so you always know when we're streaming. So if you haven't done that yet, even if you're on an app or whatever it is, totally worth it to do it. In addition to that, if you're watching us in anywhere else outside of Rumble, please make sure to follow us, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. So yeah, and Rumble, great platform, believes in freedom of speech, so always worth it to sign up here, just to have that account. Because you never know these days with all this free speech stuff. It's good to have one place where people can talk that sort of controls itself. It's good.
Yes.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
So do you have the people? Do you know
Yes,
people
I
on
do.
YouTube?
Yeah. Our friends over on YouTube would join us this evening. The Dead Man, who of course gave us numerous super chats, so we greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Karate Werewolf, Istaphobos, who's also helping us mod over there on Rumble. Appreciate the help tonight, buddy.
Thanks, sister.
Sagacious six out there sending us some lovely chats and a sticker this evening. Appreciated that as well. Let's see here. And of course, Karate Werewolf, again, thank you for the gifted subs. Much appreciated. Caleb Levine, Destiny Captain, Argentum. Hey there, sis. Phantom Outsider, Tomahawk 511, Zune RJ5, Jonathan Conroy, Eclay Thomason, Lasher, MattCat83, which, by the way, this weekend I got to record an episode of his BS Drunk Movie Reviews podcast. So that'll be coming out shortly. MattCat and I and his sister recorded that episode, and his theme for the month was vacations. And so we did Christmas Vacation, and that was our movie review. Of course, an absolute Christmas classic. So you can find those podcasts, BS Drunk Movie Reviews. He does have a YouTube channel for that, but there's also out there on the usual places you would find your podcasts. So you can find that there as well. Let's see. Who else we got here? Caravaggio. Blue Collar Loser was in the chat. I didn't see that. Good to see you, Blue Collar. Faye Summer, Ms. Sparkles. Kick in the Idon. Badfoot, AMSS, Marla Sharondoff. Hey there, Marla. Tony Grigio, Phantom Monk, Jim Noxious, Sammy Sung, Eraserhead. Good to see you, Eraserhead. Massgrave, and Margus 47. So yeah, lovely crew over on YouTube this evening.
Absolutely, and thank you to everybody. It's been a really great stream on all platforms. And I guess today was Tuesday, right?
It is. It was Tuesday. Some places it might still be Tuesday. Here it's not.
What is it now?
No, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday already. Okay.
Wednesday for an hour or so, a little over an hour.
So yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. This was a really fun stream. We went over a lot of stuff, and check if you have something to plug, Professor. You can say whatever you want.
Oh, the usual, of course. You just join us back here Thursday evening, 11:45 Eastern for the Night Owl, and then I'll be joining this week. I'll be joining the crew on B-Roll Stage. Price, are you going to be joining Robot Head for a stream on Thursday?
I will be, yes, and I assume you'll be there as well.
Unfortunately, I can't be around this week. I have a concert to go to for one of the kids.
Oh, okay.
But and then the following week is Christmas, and then the following week after that is New Year's, and I'll be traveling. So
I see.
It'll be a little while before I get to join Robot Head on a stream again, unfortunately. But hope wish you the best on that. I hope you have fun.
Well, I'm sure I will.
Otherwise, we'll be back here for the Night Owl on Thursday, 11:45.
Sounds
Eastern.
good. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 11:45 p.m. And yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you, everybody. This was a lot of fun, and we'll see you here on Thursday.
Take care.
Bye.